Ladies and gentlemen, before we start the event for the night, I would like to pass our apology for starting late. I know we are an hour late, but hopefully it will be an enjoyable night. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Pani Twala. I'm the member of the Mayoral Committee at Mangaung Metro Municipality, responsible for rural development. So I'll be your program director for tonight. Hopefully we won't spend the whole night because, as we all know, a gala dinner is mostly for mingling and entertainment. So our speakers, I would like them to be brief and be straight to the point so that we can get to the fun part as quickly as possible. Without wasting any time, I would like to call the first item on our program, which will be the opening and welcome. Our opening and welcome will be done by Miss or Mrs. Pumla Ngeza. She's the Acting Chief Director at the Department of Economic, Small Business Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs at a provincial level. Miss Pumla, can we give her a round of applause, please?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. To the Minister, Mustela Ndabeni Abraham, to the Deputy Minister, Ubaba Sdumo Dlamini, to all the DGs that are here today, as well as the CEOs from the different organized businesses, all the stakeholders involved, and protocol observed. I really like the protocol observed because it covers everyone. Mine is simple. My name is Pumla Ngeza. It's just to do some welcoming and acknowledging that the department, of which is our sister department, as you're from the province, the National Department of Small Business Development, it's here today with us, and it's exciting for us when we see our sisters coming down to us to collaborate and ensure that we are driving the mandate that is mostly common of supporting and developing our SMMEs. By not wasting any time, yes, it has already been apologized for. I would like to welcome you all. Remo Hai Monana, Remo Free State, you've got all our support. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mepumla. Next item on our program is a message of support, which we will get from the HOD of Economic, Small Business Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Dr. Mbulelo Nokweku. Can we give him a round of applause as he approaches? Okay, seems like the HOD is not yet here, but he is coming. Okay, so as soon as he gets here, he will give us his message of support. In the meantime, we will move over to the next item on our program, which is the purpose of engagement, the purpose of the night. But before we do that, we have another special item that is being included in my program. I would like to call to the stage Ntate Nuku. Ntate Nuku will be doing, I think it's not a performance, but just watch and see. Ntate Nuku, can you approach the podium, please? Can we give him a round of applause?
I have been asked to bless this occasion with words created beyond the biggest mountain, with words created beneath the deepest sea. Listen to the beat, listen to the rhythm, derived from the DSBD drum, depicting the deep sound of celebration. This is the sound for celebrating the birth of a leader. Usdumo, Mbongeni Gadlamini, Sibalkulu, Ndlovu, Magaga Kansele, Ngonyama, the only leader known to celebrate his birthday twice in a year. You are a blessed son of soil, born like everyone, but think like no one. We admire your calmness as you decisively deal with issues. You are a leader par excellence. You are like a frog that always jumps forward, for you have no reverse gear. You are like a tree that always gives a shade during a sunny day. You are like a rabbit that always sleeps with its eyes open. DM Dlamini, it is not the DM for Deputy Minister. It is the DM for Dear Minister. We admire your charisma, explicit even in tough times. You are indeed a gentle giant. And today, as you celebrate your birthday, we remind you of the warriors before you and those who died in defense of our land, in defense of our human rights, and in defense of our labor rights. You are a lifetime president of the greatest workers' movement ever established on the continent. And for that, we salute you for the lives you have changed and for the lives you have saved. And that is why God saved yours. Happy birthday, comrade leader, Deputy Minister.
Thank you very much, Ntate Nuku. That was an introduction as we call to the podium. The Honorable Deputy Minister, the birthday boy, who will give us the purpose of engagement for the day. Honorable Minister Sdumo Dlamini, can we give him a round of applause, please?
Program Director, good evening and thanks very much to my minister, the leadership that is here, and all the important people that all of you are here. We thank you. I'm standing here firstly surprised what Mr. Nuku has just done. I really, really appreciate and thank God that attend the year 56 today. We are on a provincial visit here in the Free State, and we thank the people of Free State who have participated with us on the program. It is about listening to what the issues are. It is about what are the things that we need to do to support small business people who are aspiring to be business people, but also who have entered the space and are indeed engaged with us to ensure that this department, the entities that are there, CEDA, CIFA, the department itself succeeds. And indeed, I was just sharing with the minister that indeed we shall succeed in doing this work, but work with us, all of you, South Africa. It is going to happen. The 9 million jobs that we must create by 2030 does not mean we'll only create those jobs in 2030. It has started. It must go on and on and on. And by the year 2032, the country as a whole should embrace 11 million jobs. So in my previous life, I understand what that means. It also means the role played by business people, small business, micro, cooperatives, and medium businesses, who are the people that employ people. They may employ 2 people, they may employ 3, but the target is that by 2030, we should have reached this number as a department of 9 million people. So I thank you very much, Program Director, and wish it all the best for us. Thanks very much, and thank God.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Minister. If the night was longer, we would have more surprises in between of our speakers today, but time will tell. I would like to go back to the item that we skipped. If the HOD, Dr. Mbulelo Nogweko, is here, we would like to get his message of support. Or will somebody indicate for me when he gets here? Seems like he's still not here. You will notify me. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda, it's gonna take a bit of time, but I hope we are patient enough. We also had our starters to sit through this next item. Before we do that, I would like to remind all of you, ladies and gentlemen, that the COVID-19 protocol still applies. So in order to keep ourselves safe and avoid the infection of the devious disease, let us keep to the legislations that have been put forth. Let's try to have our masks on at all the time. My sanitizing assistant has left me. Oh, she's still here. I would also like to have the podium sanitized after every speaker. Yes. Next item on our program, it will be a panel discussion. A panel discussion, it's meant for all the invited stakeholders, public and private sector, small business chamber, local municipality, SEDA, SIFA, DSBD, and DISTIA. And the facilitator for that panel discussion is going to be the acting CEO of SEDA, Ntate Mbata. If you would approach the podium, please. Can we give him a round of applause?
Oh, you're doing your job. Good evening. Angbingelele, Minister DM, all protocols observed. My name is indeed Nkoskhona Mbata, or at least that's what my parents told me. Especially my mom did tell me that my surname is Mbata. And as I've always said, I've been carrying that surname since the day I knew that I am Mbata. I am the acting CEO at SEDA. So welcome again to this event. I think this part of today, or this part of the session, is the most important part in terms of us talking to SMME opportunities. We've got a panel that is very diverse, ranging from the chambers to the private sector. We also have Proudly SA in the room. We will just go through that panel, give them time to talk to us, and then we'll then allow the SMMEs in the room to ask questions. We will try to, obviously, because we don't have the whole day, we will definitely limit the questions. I will take the first 5 questions and then see if there is 5 more questions to take. And the questions would be directed to the panelists based on what they've said and what you would like to see more. Because we had a session during the day where the SMMEs were able to voice out their issues. They were able to tell us exactly where we're not doing things right, how we need to change, how we need to do things differently. Then this session is more of saying, here are the ecosystem enablers. I'm going to bring them here. What is it that you want to know more from them in terms of, moving your business or getting your business to the next level? So it's very important that we listen to what they're going to say, and then we're able to ask questions straight to the panelists. I think, having said that, I think the most important thing is that SMMEs then must be able to benefit in the economy that we're trying to create, or in the economy that we're trying to stimulate. And that is why we're here, to make sure that you benefit from that. Having said that, I would like to call my panelists to the stage. I won't call them, I don't know if they want me to call them by names, but maybe let me do the organizations where they come from. They were not here. They were not here. They were not here. Okay. That it? Okay. All right. Thank you. We'll start with the MMC for Local Economic Development to come to the stage. I will just call the organization so that I give them a chance to introduce themselves properly. So, MMC for Local Economic Development, please come to the stage. The chairperson of BMF, please come to the stage. Chairperson of NAFCOC, please come to the stage. Proud SA, please come to the stage. And NYDA, please come to the stage. And then lastly, the representative from the Youth Chamber, please also join us to the stage. I believe I've got enough chairs. May I please have the mics? And who's responsible for sanitizing? You, hey, incane sanitize yakho. Uyancishana. Izophela. So, may I please have the mics? Because I want to move from here so that I'm not, no one is behind me. So, uzosebenza ke Ntombi, awuthula my mic eyodwa yama panelist. So le sanitizer yakho izawuphela.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the acting CEO is busy preparing for the interaction with the panelists, I would like us to take this moment to acknowledge the presence of the Deputy Minister of Labor and Employment. For those who don't know her, she just arrived. Honorable Boitumelo Auspinki Moloi, if you can stand up.
DM, happy birthday. I see this day is coinciding with your day. And for the record, we don't want people to be saying we're celebrating, we came all the way to celebrate your birthday here, right? So I just want to make sure for the record that it just happened to be his birthday. We are not here to celebrate the DM's birthday. so that we clear that, because the next thing tomorrow we hear it was the DM's birthday. They drove all the way from Johannesburg, to Mangaung to do the birthday celebration. Cha. Kodwa ngoba singabantu abamnyama, we are black people. We always acknowledge that, and we like to do certain things. So I'm told that there is over and above what has been done. There is certain things that we need to do later to just make sure that the day goes well. But that is not in line with the DM's birthday. It's what we need to deal with here. So I would like to then start with the panelists. The way it's going to go is that each panelist is going to introduce themselves, and then from there, then they will tell us where they're from, and then they will tell us about their role in the ecosystem. I think that is how it will go. If bekunomculo nje omnandi or relevant, I would call it. But today we're running such a formal evening. I'm keeping my eyes on the time as well. So we'll start with just the introductions. Can we just do the names first, and then we'll come back for another round? Can we do the names? Right. Thank you. Can go.
Thank you, everyone. Deputy Minister, as the esteemed director said, happy birthday. Minister, leadership of Mangaung, the leadership of NYDA, and the panelists. My name is Sam Motlogelwa, the Provincial Secretary of the Free State Youth Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. The name is Musebeti Dadla, the Director and Chairperson of the Black Management Forum. All protocol observed. And happy birthday to the Deputy Minister of Small Business Development.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good evening, everyone. All protocol observed, because I see there's a long list of people to acknowledge. My name is Eustace Mashimbye, and I'm the CEO of Proudly South African. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Let me start by greeting the Minister, the Deputy Minister, leadership of Mangaung, leadership of Machabeng, and all protocol observed. My name is Tsepo Mataba. I'm the chairperson of NAFCOC in the Free State.
Good evening, everyone. All protocol observed. Igama ngu Asanda Lwaca, the Executive Chairperson of the National Youth Development Agency. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mjale Fabuti, MMC responsible for LED, tourism, SMMEs and mining, representing Machabeng. Let me also extend my greetings to Minister Stella Ndabeni Abraham, our birthday man, Deputy Minister Zdumo, and Deputy Minister Pinky. All protocol observed. Thank you very much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ntabisen Jonas Malipane. I'm the MMC responsible for tourism, LED, investment promotion, small business development. I would like to apologize to be late because I'm the host. So, dithupa tsa ka di ka metsing. Ke kopa tshwarelo. Thank you. Oh, sorry. I think when I'm saying I'm the host, you'll understand. I'm coming from the Metropolitan Municipality, the Mangawu. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. May we also have the chair of FDC coming to the front. If the chair is here. Thank you. That is your chair, sir. I did hear that there's a burning fire within you, and it is great. I've introduced. Maybe chair, you may introduce yourself properly, so that we clear.
Dumelang, ka lebitso ke Mathe Akwena Mahale. Very brand new. I thought the CEO would have done a better job. Nonetheless, I'm here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we will then, thank you very much for that introduction. I believe then, ladies and gentlemen, that we can see that we've got a lot of knowledge here on stage, and I would like you then to utilize that, or to then try to get more information given the knowledge that we have here. We've brought you the best in the game. So just make sure that by the time you leave, you have some skills that you would have received from the panelists here on stage. I will then proceed with the business of the day. The second part of it is that talks to the panelists then telling us about their role as an ecosystem enabler. Basically, how are they enabling SMMEs? What is it that they offer to SMMEs? How are they enabling SMMEs to prosper in this space? And that, for me, is very important, and it hits home, mainly because we are here because of the SMMEs that we want to support. The passion that we have is all about the SMMEs that we all want to see prospering and doing great. I mean, there's various programs that were discussed during the day that are being offered, you know, by the likes of SIFA, the likes of SIDA, and you know, one of them is the She Trades program, you know, that enables the SMMEs in this country to trade, especially women-owned SMMEs, to trade properly, and also to have access to international market. And that program, obviously, I would like most of the women-owned SMMEs here to take advantage of that opportunity and make sure that they are able to get their products into the global space. The CEO will speak more about that through also Proudly SA, given that opportunity. Yeah, I will stop there before someone says I speak a lot, and allow the program to continue. Yes. Yeah, team. Yeah, team, please come through. Thank you. So, those who can sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Hip hip. Hip hip.
All right, it is not his birthday, as in his birthday, right? You heard that he's the only person with 2 birthdays. So, yeah, start up, right? We're warming up for the other birthday. DM, on behalf of the Department of Small Business Development and the Small Business Ecosystem, we want to wish you all the best on this day. We understand that you would have loved to spend it with your loved ones, but unfortunately, because you heeded the call to serve our nation, you sacrificed and didn't apologize because you've got to be with your family. So we just want to say thank you, and we thank God for the person that you are. I always tell people that I've been a deputy minister for 7 full years. I've served 4 ministers, which means I've seen it all. I'm able to induct others to say, you know, this is how you navigate and all of that. But as God gives us different people to work with, you are one of a special type. And if I were to sleep and we come back to, and then they say choose, I would choose you again. Thank you for being the big brother that you are. And thank you for constantly reminding us that we shouldn't take any day for granted, because it is God that gives us an opportunity to be alive. And therefore, let's celebrate life. I am certain that God is going to lead us and sizoyenza lento, right? Bazayibona economic freedom ngexesha lethu. Happy birthday, bro.
All right. Thank you. And again, happy birthday, DM. Those who know me, they know that I'm a very efficient MC, but this had to happen. So I was waiting patiently for the team to come through so that then we can get on with this part. But thank you very much, Tim. I believe that DM enjoyed that surprise. So we can then proceed. Are you comfortable that I start with you? Or should I start here? He says anyway is fine. So I will just start with you, and let's pay attention then, just more on your role in terms of empowering SMMEs from your side, and how then they, if they approach you, how can they improve, or how do they become better? Thank you, Bob.
Thank you very much. The Free State Youth Chamber of Commerce and Industry, it's a lobby and advocacy organization unified to assist youth-owned businesses, not excluding youth living with disabilities. Last year, as the Free State Youth Chamber, we had a program called Women Enterprise Development Program, with a specific focus to enable young women, African women in business, procurement opportunities, both in the public and private sector. Obviously, we had shortcomings in terms of coordination and communication from our stakeholders. This year, we had a different approach on how we need to do things. We took things from the district development model, as it's stated, into local government to say, as we see government is tabling budgets and the infrastructure development projects, how can we be pragmatic in terms of young people being part of the development? And from the Secretariat's office and with the team that we work with, we have engaged CIDB with the view of saying, how do we then see small contractors graduate with an effective plan of not delaying service delivery when there's that issue of set-asides for small businesses in their communities. And beyond that, what we have started doing right now also, we have started to engage the South African local government Free State in helping district municipalities and our local municipalities of ensuring that young people that are in the business space and those that have an interest to be in the business space, how do they get access to information? However, the shortcomings that we are having as a chamber is, again, coordination, support, and partnership with our different stakeholders, especially from the public side and the private sector side, because the private sector is not giving a black child any room to move, and also the discourse of political instabilities in our municipalities is also affecting young people to see the gains of the Congress movement post-democracy, and also it paints us as young people to be rejecting whatever initiatives that government will be putting into place, because some of the programs such as TRAP, when it was launched, we went as the chamber to find young people in those spaces to afford them opportunities to apply. And when we find is that in the Township Rural Enterprise Program, the people that are operating in that program, it's mostly foreigners, and the bylaws are also an hindrance in terms of ensuring that our people in that space get the benefit and the support that they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think sizodlula siye kubabdladla to just tell us more about the work of the BMF and their role as an ecosystem enabler. Baba.
Thank you, Facilitator. Guests, as we stand here today, the BMF is 46 years old. We've been at the forefront of developing managerial leadership, primarily amongst black people. We are a non-political, non-racial, and non-sexist organization. Our mandate stems from the aspect that says to get government functioning right, you need competent, ethical, effective, and very much pragmatic leaders. What we focused on at the most part as the BMF was in the private sector. We are the custodians of what we call affirmative action. We created the Employment Equity Act. The reason why we see all black people today in South Africa employed and working in government, in private sector, is because of that legislation. We furthermore in 2003 worked on the blueprint for black economic empowerment, and we wish and pray that the majority of our people understood the 5 elements that are there, which used to be 7, around ownership. We want majority black-owned economy. That's the political economy we want as the BMF. But we equally understand that that cannot come from sloganeering. You need to develop the capability. This is the things that we do in the BMF. The capability we develop through 3 specific programs, which is the Young Professionals Development Program, where young people who are in business, who might have learned their academic skills, but do not have the requisite soft skills, and as well as networks, are being able to be coached and mentored. We do that in partnership with Duke University from London. We equally have what we call the Women in Power, because we're saying we're not just going to go and pick women and say, here's women. We say these women must be capable, ethical, and very much competent. We have also what we call management and leadership in action. These programs simply, they make sure that the people that say today they are managing, we need to be able to, that you see today as big CEOs, chairmen of many multinational organizations, as well as key institutions in the state. We realized at some point the government decided not to stop consulting us. And we say, let's look at that. We realize that young people who are in business never understand the importance of governance in business. The issue is that in a South African economy, you won't go far. So we need to fix those aspects, and we work around helping entrepreneurs around that space. Furthermore, what have we done as BMF? It is one thing to believe that white people are responsible for our development. We set up 2 special funding mechanisms. One is the BMFI, the BMF investment. We fund companies that are above 30 million in order to be able to recapitalize them and assess them with funding. And we also sit in those boards. Because one of the key things with us is that we don't fund where we cannot give you capable people. We've got people with industry background, knowledge, who've worked in these multinationals, who've helped them grow. If you've read the book, The Rise of the Afrikanerdom, it will tell you white people became more rich post-94 than they were before 94. Who help them those? It's mostly the black executives we sit, and at times we don't pay attention to. We also have created a special vehicle, mostly for young professionals, young business people, which is called the Insika Impact Fund. Minister and Deputy Minister, we believe in two parts. You cannot fund SMMEs through commercial means, through commercial terms. It will be a serious disregard of our knowledge and the history of this country. Commercial enterprises require collateral. We set up during COVID what we called the 200 billion stimulus. Only 14 billion was spent because the companies that were meant to be empowered and assisted, that they don't go under, they did not meet the requirements of the banks. Now we would ask, who in government decided on that policy? Was he an effective BMF type of manager who would have understood the socio-economic aspects that we deal with? So these are critical aspects to say, who do you put in government to make these decisions? If you take a person because they want a job, we get the decisions we sit with today. Equally, we've looked at under the Insika Impact Fund, we fund in between 750 to 5 million. Impact investing simply means businesses that will create an impact. We've looked at the capability of our professionals from most of these institutions because we've got those black guys. When you see companies saying we've got level 1 BE, chances there's enough BMF members in that type of an organization. But what we've also said was, let's discuss with the young people today to say, when we conceptualize BE, how is it supposed to work? You need to go through training and skills development. We need to put you through management control through the Employment Equity Act. Deputy Minister, I see you are here, which is critical for us to say we're still waiting for the amendment on the Employment Equity Act to include an employment equity scorecard for most of these companies. We are also saying, let's get to ownership. Let's be able to, we realize that our parents are told, we are told today, they did BE deals. Most of them, they don't really have the net asset value in those BE deals. We are fully much aware. Now we're saying, we are 30 years later in this country, you've got capable young people that studied certain aspects that most of our parents couldn't. We need the third generation BE deals. They will be more different from the BE deals that were done in the first and the second generation. We need to discuss aspects around small business. Let's discuss how spatial planning is affecting the small business people. Before funding, let's discuss the laws that are there. We created the laws to protect the people that benefited from apartheid. We need to be careful of that. If we're not sure how to change them, come and sit with us in the BMF. We've got the capable, smart and intelligent and ethical people that will begin to advise to say, this is how we change the laws, this is how we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think the SMMEs in the room did hear a few things regarding also the different types of support, as well as the funding that you also offer. I think there will be some questions around that. We're moving to Proud SA. Baba Chamber, please. The floor is yours. I normally do have my phone into timer, but I've spoken to my panelists that it's 3 to 5 minutes each, so they are aware. If they take longer, you must know that it's them who decided to take longer. It's not because I didn't tell them the time. So thank you, Baba. Please proceed.
Okay. Good evening once again. I'm going to try and summarize what we do as Proudly South African within the ecosystem of supporting SMMEs, especially within 3 to 5 minutes, and that I normally do in half an hour. Minister, it's so unfair. I'm going to do my best. What we are is a buy local campaign. So Proudly South African was established back in 1998 as a result of a presidential job summit that was held and convened by the then President Mandela. I'm glad the DM is here and the minister is nodding. They were part of the process. And the reason why it was formed was to try and have an initiative that was going to assist in the creation of jobs and the retention of jobs. In fact, this afternoon, Minister, there was an entrepreneur who spoke about the fact that, based on what the DM said, he's one of those people who's lost 13 jobs in his company. And that is what Private South African seeks to counter. We are there to ensure that anyone who starts a business stays operational. Because you can run the best business, you can access all the funding and all the support you want, but if no one buys from you, it defeats the purpose. And that is why Proudly South African exists. The difference, though, with Proudly South African is your products must be made locally. They must be made within the borders of South Africa. Even in instances where you bring in the raw materials or the components that you require to make your product from outside of South Africa, it is only allowed if those are not available in the country. And in that instance, the transformation of those raw materials into the final product that you're going to take into the market must happen within the borders of South Africa, so that jobs are created. And if you think of a typical product, and I'll use a chair, a classical example is a chair. In order to produce a chair, there are raw materials that go into that chair. So it's not just about jobs that you create for the furniture manufacturer, for the chair manufacturer. If there's a steel component that is utilized, the steel industry benefits from it. If there's a leather material that is utilized, it means the textiles industry is benefiting. In fact, if you think of leather, it comes from the agricultural industry. You know, natural fibers and hides and skins are converted into textiles so that leather can be produced. So what I'm trying to illustrate is that the value chain, that every time you make a purchasing decision and you buy a locally made product, it's not just about the job in that factory, but it's about the value chain, all the jobs that come with that product. And so that is the role of Proudly South African. So within this ecosystem, our role is to give you access to market support. We have access to market programs that we've developed that are aimed at you who are supplying products targeted specifically at consumers. We have an online store, because we know the battle with retailers. In fact, the partnership we have with the department, and I'm glad to see that your DG is here. We have a partnership with your DG, Minister, which is aimed at ensuring that we try and access retail support for locally made products. And I'm glad that there is that program. So what we've done is we have extended it and said, outside of us relying on the retail spaces that we can access from big business, what else can we do? And so we've created an online store. If you have a consumer-facing product, you can sell your product on the Proudly SA online store at no cost. You know, it comes at a cost for you if you're going to list your product with these traditional online stores. But what it does is that it gives the consumer the assurance that every time they buy a product on that online store, it's locally made and is of a high quality nature. Secondly, we have access to market programs that are targeted at those of you who want to do business with government. What has helped us in this regard is government coming up with legislation that designated certain sectors. So there's about 27 plus cement, which is still, can be checked, is 27 items that are designated. So if government says they're going to buy furniture, because furniture is designated, they're meant to buy from you. The role we play is to ensure that those tenders, as they come out, we have a tender monitoring system and we track each and every single one of those tenders for designated items. Does not matter at what level the organ of state operates. We track those tenders, and as the tenders come out, we check whether those provisions are there. So we're holding the state accountable, but we're also assisting the state entities that are procuring to ensure that they have the correct provisions. And so we track the tenders, we then send them through to companies that are eligible to bid. We register companies that are affiliated with us on the CSD so that you are in a position to can respond to the tenders. And so in that regard, we are assisting a lot with what happens in the public sector procurement space. Lastly, when it comes to private sector procurement, because we know a lot of you want to do business with the private sector, and this also supports the transformation agenda that we have as a country, because you can't leave that behind. And so we have developed portals. One of the main portals that we have is called the Market Access Platform, MAP in short. And what MAP does is it enables you that has gone through our system to register on the portal. We vet you, we register you, and buyers in the private sector register on that portal so that they can trust you because you have been vetted. And we are seeing successes. We go out and we look for localization commitments from the private sector, and we said register on MAP. So as a company that is affiliated, so if the one bank buys furniture from you and they give you a rating that you delivered on time, the quality was good, it is indeed a locally made product, and your price was competitive, they give you a rating so that the next bank or the next big business can go and close that gap. And that's the role of Proudly South African summarized in the private sector, public sector, as well as consumer space for SMMEs. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please come. I think you did very well. Whoever says they didn't hear you, I can tell you they will be lying. I know I've listened to you. I know that really you don't take anything less than 30 minutes. In every platform where I've listened, I know. So Simshaleni Zandla, he did very well today. We're moving to the chairperson of NAFCOC, Mr. Tepo Mataba. I'm hoping I'm not ambushing the surname. I try, and I tried outside. He trained me, and I'm hoping I'm doing justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Program Director. Established in 1964 by the well-known Mr. Richard Maponya, and we are just working in the footsteps of that giant. Our mission to spearhead the spirit of entrepreneurship. It is moving them from the periphery into the mainstream. And we have been doing that ever since. Now, I want to shift a little bit from the direction that the speakers have been moving towards, because I don't believe tonight should be about NAFCOC. It should be about the small business development and government and what they're doing to ensure that us as small business get to reap the benefits of this democracy of ours. And I need to also say that this department that we are sitting for today was established because of NAFCOC. I hope the minister and the deputy ministers know that. Because there was a reason behind the formation of this, or the lobbying of the formation of this. Has that idea being met? Your small informal people are still outside. They are still informal. They are still not given the opportunities they're supposed to get. And they are ignored. Now, this model that we wanted to push in our government is a model that such that we have realized in other countries created by small and informal business. There's a dedicated department that ensures that there is access to funding, there's proper support. Now, we know to regulate informal trade in our locations. Together with other organizations, we are happy today that to ensure that there is fair and proper out of resources within that particular economy. So, Minister and the Deputy Minister, we will appreciate very much if you can put your weight and support behind that bill by this year. Now, there are things that long discussion and a bit of a fight with CIFA in particular, because our people did not benefit out of the relief fund. And as a result, we felt that ground, and they understand what's happening on the ground, there would have been more impact. The other issue was quite a chunk of money was channeled to the banks. And we know as black people and fortunately, this year tried shame. Our government departments are listening. There are two things that kill entrepreneurship and small business. One is underfunding. You know, when you go and make a request, close down, and now you've been labeled a failure. The second one is our government does not pay our people on time. That's a killer for small business. And those are the issues that we need to talk about, because that's not a favor, that is government policy that must be implemented. If you are a small guy and you've borrowed some 100,000 to supply stationery or T-shirts or something, and it takes 3 to 4 months to pay you back. By the time you pay that money back, about Mashonis and their onion ending. People must realize if it's 100 million tender and that person does not get paid, he's got subcontractors who also have employees. And that's a whole lot of people that are impacted by that. And I've heard that it's not that there's no money, it's that someone in the line does not want to sign. For what particular reason? Someone who is supposed to sign is on sick leave and that kind of tendencies that are really problematic. So we want to please request that may our government please pay attention to that. What also is important is our role is to, hence NAFCOC this year will be launching what you call a student chapter. When people get out of varsity or technical, instead of going looking for jobs, they must start now looking at how can we create other jobs for other learners or other students. Now, I see my time is up. The issue of centralized funding, everything being done from Pretoria and Gauteng and everything being done there, that's problematic, man. Things have to be worked on at a local base. We need, and Minister, if I would like to get an invite to present this thing to you. We have a program of localized funding cooperatives. It's a different model than the one that has been implemented here. We got it from somewhere. We've got people that have been working on this program. We honestly believe that it will assist a lot. I thank you.
Hi, ngiyakubona. Bokuthiwa isikhathi siphelile kodwa uthi what I wanted to say I would say. But I think you're touching on very important issues. And I think the issue of SMME payment is the issue at the heart of the department, and making sure that other departments pay SMMEs on time. It's a very important issue. I think the conversation about underfunding, it's a serious conversation. And it's a conversation that says there should be enough money available for the SMMEs so that then everyone then can have what they request for. But also the skills issue of analyzing these things becomes very important. Executive Chair, so I said Chair, so I've been corrected. Please, can you start the 5 minutes from you onwards? Ne? I trust you that you do the 5 minutes. Can you give your hands? Thank you.
Thank you, facilitator. I won't even take up the 5 minutes. In fact, I'll stick to the 3-minute brief that I was given. So greetings once again to everyone. I'll just speak to make this point that the NYDA was established to be a single unitary structure addressing youth development issues at national, provincial, and local government levels. The main aim is to make youth development part and parcel of what other line departments get to a point where they include youth development as a clear area of focus. Our role, therefore, is to remove barriers to success and to assist with the development and the delivery of critical success factors. Products that we offer. The first one being the NYDA grant program, business development support in order to enable them to establish or grow their businesses. Now the program in the second program or service that we offer is the Voucher Program, which is a business support program that is aimed at assisting young entrepreneurs by through NYDA approved business consultants to purchase business sustainment. The program offers, I hope I stuck to my 3 minutes time allocation. Thank you.
Ubaba Udlamini uthe he's turning 56 today. So when we say someone from the National Youth Development Agency, umacabanga if Ubaba Dlamini was the one who stood up and talked to us, we would have been like, aye, no, this NYDA is not the one. But I hope everyone did take place. Our country is going the right direction, and we'll be able to do all the things that our minister always talks about, which is across this organization. You know, technology is the key, so that then we're able to respect the youth part. I won't tell my story today, Minister, that happened in Limpopo, where I showed up and they still expected the CEO to show up. And I was like, I'm here. They're like, this is for the VIPs. This is for the executive. You know, we've arrived, you know, as young people. Thank you. I'll move to, thank you very much. Oh, hey, see now. So I talk too much. Please come through and just talk to us as well. Thank you. You see now, you see when you talk and talk, it happens. Please don't fall to the same into the same trap, ne?
Let me take an advantage of the absence of Mr. Will and take his 5 minutes and the 2 minutes that was left by the leader of the NYDA. But let me not spoil the Deputy Minister's birthday. No, thanks very much. As much having local municipality, municipality that is historically known for being the mining hub of the Free State. Of course, with the decline of the mining industry and the price of gold, we had to be creative, and that's cordial relations that we have with the Department of Small Business Development, particularly with regard to our role is to create a conducive environment for both small, medium, and micro enterprise to thrive in our area. And with our dedicated Department of LED, we have ensured that we offer our SMMEs training and capacity development, particularly with regard to formalizing their businesses, because what they not formalized. So, we also ease the burden on our SMMEs with regard to payment. So we have ensured that ability of land, to ensure that we try to renovate them to avail an office space and business premises for the operations of our SMMEs. We must also mention that through our relationship with our social partners, particularly the mining houses, we have made a commitment that will now focus on creation of, would contribute in infrastructure development and so on and so forth. So with good governance, would ensure that municipalities must focus on the MIG grants in dealing with the question of infrastructure. But the mining houses must create a value chain. They must create industries that will work closely with the mines. So that we have a responsibility as Machabeng to take advantage of our strategic location in the country. You would have to pass through Machabeng. So that is also an opportunity because it creates a market for us. So we are committed in ensuring that we increase the number of not only through construction and so on. All these variety of services that the municipality is procuring will be dedicated to SMMEs, and we will monitor the 30 days payment plan. Of course, because of some of the challenges faced by the municipality, we'll be prepared to go as far as 60 days. So we are reaffirming our commitment in supporting the SMMEs, working closely with all our sister departments through the district model. And also as a unitary state, of course, we will be working with the provincial departments and the national department. So Machabeng is a place to be for the SMMEs to thrive. Thank you very much. My 5 minutes is over.
Indeed, Machabeng, so is a place to be. That is the one part. And I think personally, I would like to, through this DDM model that we are driving, to see what partnerships, if in further. I mean, there was a mentioning of CEDA in terms of the work that we do. How do we then strengthen that? You know, how do we create a better space for the SMMEs within that place, space? I think the importance of the DDM can never be overemphasized because it is the only way that will begin to make everyone to be focused on those districts or in particular districts. And it gives us a chance then to partner based on what is happening in a particular district. As you were saying that, when we travel, we have to pass Eastern Cape or Cape Town. But, what are the economic activities there? Is it mining? How do we then make it better? How do we focus our services as all stakeholders into those economic activities happening in that particular district? Because when we begin to do that, then we'll create jobs, because we are not just providing services or we're putting money in things that are not relevant in that particular district. So it becomes very important that we drive the DDM model in terms of what we're trying to do. Also us as agencies and as a department focus on that. So I agree with what we are saying, and I hope the SMMEs will take advantage of the different schemes, incentive schemes that we are talking about to make sure that we advance the economy on that side. She said she's the host. Can you give her the platform? Thank you.
Thank you, Program Director. I'm not going to talk too much about our municipality regarding the challenge we have. Here in Mangaung, we support the SMMEs. We transfer them, we give them the support, we transfer them to SIFA. We are working together with the DISTIA. We are working together with CEDA. We train them on business skills, and then we procure them by our facilities. I think the last time we built, to support them, we built hawker stalls, Botshabelo, Tabanchu. We are going to buy the containers for them to start their businesses. The former lady and Sotpani, we will do so. So in Mangaung, I'm not going to talk too much because of our challenges, but we support them, we transfer them, we market them, we do the marketing for them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hi. I'm still the MC, colleagues. I'm still the MC. I've got a lot of investors in the room. It becomes important that we behave ourselves, because we're trying to create an enabling environment for you as SMMEs, right? In making sure that you succeed in terms of your businesses. And for us, that is very key, that is very important. I believe that even the municipality will go beyond the challenges that they have, and at some point in time, everything will go according to the way that as SMMEs you wish. So it becomes important then that we support each other in the journeys that we're walking in. Bab, the chair of FDC, please come and just talk to us briefly as well. You can take all the minutes. You're the last speaker.
Gadumedi Sahab, perhaps let me start with a disclaimer, Chair, and say we had the induction of the board last week, Thursday, and as soon as we received all the information that we received, the question that crossed our minds was, did we make the right call to accept this responsibility? And then I personally reminded that I often say that life is too difficult, and that is not my line, by the way. There's a book, I think, The Road Less Traveled. Life is too difficult. But life is difficult not so that we must mourn about it incessantly. It is difficult so that we solve the problems. And for those of us who have been claiming that we have been sent to institutions of higher learning to acquire knowledge and skills, and we have always been armchair critics and say government is not doing A, B, C, and D, we thought, oh, by the way, now we have been afforded that space and opportunity. Let's see what we can do. And I'm starting there to say that we believe that, at FDC, we believe that everybody deserves 10 out of 10. And because you are serious people, you are business people. And as far as the mandate of the FDC is concerned, we know very well that you are capable of reading the 6 objects of the FDC. The overarching role of the FDC is that we must facilitate the growth and development of the provincial economy. How do we do that? We do that by giving yourselves loans. We do that by providing financial support, where we have been giving you money and then you continue to struggle. We come in to provide non-financial support. Another key role that we do, because many of our businesses struggle with space, we make sure that we make space. But let me again add to the disclaimer I started with. I had a brief discussion with the MEC this morning. And we said that we have already lost 1 week since the induction. And time is not waiting for us. But what we will be doing the next 2 months or so is to work on a deliberate marketing campaign that targets the reputation of the FDC. You are Free Staters. Many of you know what you have done to FDC. FDC is on its knees today because some of you have been, and other people that you know, used to receive money, and because everybody has been having this understanding that the well charity partly as a result of 2 factors. 1, underfunding. 2, the monies that have not been paid back. The ability of the mandate, the ability of the FDC to carry out, to perform its mandate is compromised. And for FDC to be able to live up to expectations, we would need to work together. And this working together, Minister, unfortunately, it would mean that if indeed we said that where we are starting, and the CEO got the message very clear on Thursday, we said everything rises and falls on leadership. Firstly, we are sorting out governance at FDC, which has not been doing. And then we said we are starting there. It starts with us. And once we get governance to be where it should be, which is ethical and accountable and transparent, so that you know what we do. If we come for you, Tatembarage, because you owe FDC, nobody must cry foul, because you got the money, and that money must come back so that we can help the next 5 businesses. Otherwise, we must forget. Thank you very much.
Can they get a chance to just make sure that this organization comes back? We will be back. The minister said we will be back in 6 months. either virtual or physical, but we'll be back in 6 months. We'll invite you, Chair, to give us progress, because it's very important that what we say to the SMMEs, we live by it. And for me, I'm very happy because these things talk to the serious issues where technically we talk about high impairments, but macham, you know, those things don't just happen. It's people, it's SMMEs, just forget. The organization cannot even make sufficient revenue, you know, to even, you know, maintain its operations, let alone, because if you say 60% of your book or 80% of your book is impaired, you know, it means that you cannot be able to collect the money that you've lent, 60% of it. If you've lent out $1 billion, it means 60% of that billion, you can't get it back from the SMMEs that you've been trying to uplift and trying to support. Now, then by doing so, there's not enough interest revenue in the entity. So, and there's wanting to start businesses, but there is not sufficient reserves. There's not sufficient capital in the DFIs. I'm not talking about only yours. The capital has been eroded through some of the SME owners who are refusing to pay the money, not sensitive to the historical issues, because it's the same issues where people say, I won't pay back this money, knowing very well that you signed that this is a loan. You take it, you refuse to pay it back. It's a different story when you try to do business and it didn't work genuinely. So then what do we do then to support you and to get you back on your knees? It's a different conversation. But the one that says, my intentions from the start were to defraud or to take this money and not pay it back, definitely that money must be received, must be returned, and legal action must be taken to ensure that money comes back, because we sitting here in the room, we all need this type of funding, but it's not available anymore because someone has decided not to pay it back. Let me just stop, because this topic, I'm in my previous life, I'm still maybe a collector, and I've been trying to collect this money, so I'm passionate about making sure that we are able to reinvest this. Message that I'm sending is that if we happen to get an opportunity to obtain funding from any of the DFIs, placement doesn't have much money, so capitalization becomes an issue. But if we all commit to pay back what we are given, it makes it easy for DFIs to reinvest that money. So I won't say much. I think I've said a lot around that. You can tell that I do well in collections. Questions, apologies, but I'll just do this part, then I'll move. Let's move on. I know time is not on our side. Right? We'll take questions, we'll take suggestions. We've created should be done in situations where there's failures. What is it that you would want to see happening and to be done differently? Right? We have invited, it's very important for me. So I said I'll take 10 maximum hands. So, 1, right? So that is balanced. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the hands that I see, right? Relax. So I'll take those first, and then let's see how we go according to time. Already, yes, count, right? 1. And please say your name, or you're asking your question or your suggestion so that then they can answer, because they are here to respond to those questions. Thank you very much, Bob.
No, thanks, Program Director. My name is Piwe Mate. I'm from the South African BRICS Youth Association. And my question is directed towards Proudly South Africa. I just want to briefly get a sense of what kind of efforts or instruments they've put in place to encourage direct contact between enterprises and associations and other business entities insofar as expanding their businesses beyond the borders of South Africa. Now I'm speaking in the context of BRICS countries. I just want to get a sense of what kind of instruments are there in place, because you reflected quite a lot on the packages that they have and how they assist organizations in terms of their marketing. But we know that for most products, if you look at most of the products that come from different countries, they make their way to our shores. But when you look at South Africa, there's always an issue. I mean, right now we've got relations with China and India and other countries, but we've got a very huge trade deficit in terms of what we export to these countries and what they consume that comes from us. So as Proudly South Africa, just want to get a sense of what kind of instruments do they have in place for us to be able to also deal with the question of the trade stuff.
Thank you, Program Director. My name is Zingisam Gauli of Mohokare Local Municipality. And the only way out is the industrialization of Harib. And the growth of your tenant is the daily running of the business. For example, from pricing the business to marketing the business. But I do believe that CETA will be able to assist in this regard. I know that the new board is very progressive under the leadership of Asanda. But I just want her to take note that actually the response of applications with NYDA is very slow. Starting from registering the business, it takes a very long time to actually get young people to be registered for their businesses to actually comply. Mohokare has a potential in growing in the tourism sector because Mohokare is allocated in the Maluti route, as well as agriculture. We also have a farmer support unit. This unit was an initiative of the National Agricultural Department. That unit is a gold mine. All we do is this. We are going to put together people who actually own businesses in recycling so that they can assist the municipality in terms of waste management. But what I know is they also have a problem with equipment in the daily running of the business of their recycling. So what I want to know is, as the mayor, which doors do I knock at? Where do I get the assistance in actually making sure that these recycling businesses are up and running so that our waste management project is actually successful?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Larona Tsikwe. I am from Muteo TVET College, Center for Entrepreneurship and Rapid Incubator, apologies. I am the Business Development Officer at the center. Mine is more of a comment. And I feel that, you know, we are building businesses and my job is basically, I sit with entrepreneurs on a daily basis and I listen to ideas daily. And, you know, they come in different ways and forms, but like China. China made a decision to be the leader of steel first, globally. And the country rallied around that. And they became the global leader of steel. You look at South Africa, and you look at the fact that we are currently considered the highest, we currently have the highest failure rate for small businesses. But what is South Africa? What is our main driver of the economy? Because I wouldn't agree with the assumption that we are a country that has speciality in all areas and spheres. So I would say that, or suggest that, let's find an anchoring approach, maybe a particular industry or sector that we can rally behind, and from this particular industry or sector, the ripple effects of it, these multifaceted businesses can come to life. But we can't be establishing all these types of businesses. And also, I'd like to close by saying to the small businesses which are here, guys, there is a lot of problems in Africa. There's a lot of problems in South Africa. Are we starting businesses because of the wave? Because of what is happening around the country? Because of the noises that you're hearing that, hey, start a business, hey, start a business. Business is solving problems. Are you solving problems in what you're doing? Because once you can create anything that has value, the amount of value that that thing assumes is the amount of return that you will get from it. Making money is starting businesses without value. So I would say to the small businesses that look at creating value for other people. Thank you.
You are indeed from a Siferi. I can hear that. Very good advice. Can we have the next? Can we have the next person? Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, protocol observed. I would like to start off, my name is Gatle Khomafatli. I am from African Disability Chamber, Business Chamber. I would like to start off by thanking Department of SMMEs for giving us such platform. I'm very disappointed. I'm not going to ask any question. It is just my point of view. I'm very disappointed at the stakeholders that we have at the podium at the moment. It's only business chambers. Some of them have been existing for close to 5 decades. It's half a century. But they don't say anything about people with disability. Are we not part of the society? Is our businesses do not matter to you guys or to the economy of Mangaung? I'm standing here as the secretary of Mangaung. Hence, I'm asking these questions. None of you guys has included us. Please go back and do your homework because we are not included. And I hope that when I, as the secretary of Mangaung, unfortunately my chairperson is not here, I hope when I come and knock at your doors will be opened. Because at this point in time, I feel left out. At this point in time, had I invited somebody to come at this setup right here, they would not be included. Or, yes, I think included is the word I'm looking for. That's the closest to it. Because we do not even have an interpreter in this house. I am very disappointed. Thank you.
I'm just thinking in terms of no. In terms of oh sorry, can you go to that gentleman there? I don't know how you skipped him. I'm just thinking of the punches. I'm taking them as I'm saying. But I would like to give the panelists a chance to, if they can, in response, talk about programs that they have, if they have, on that part. It's very important that they do, if they have, other than maybe them going back. I'm sure they will take an opportunity to deal with that. Bab.
All right. Thank you very much. Protocol observed. My name is Lebona Lekoneya. I'm the chairperson of Free State Publishers and Editors Forum in the Free State. It's the organization that coordinates all the community newspapers in the province. I'm glad that the department has brought all the businesses in one roof. Mine is not a question as such, however, is an input. I think the proudly South African FDC, DSTIA, and all other stakeholders that are here should utilize the existence of community media in the province. We've seen that for the past few years, the community media has suffered because of the small businesses. Therefore, small business to grow. I plead with you, ladies and gentlemen, to utilize the opportunity that you have in a form of advertising, and also the departments and other stakeholders should as well use the opportunity that we offer in the community media industry, because of that's where that's where the opportunity lies for you, and in order to make your business to grow. Lastly, we are going to have what we call a media indaba in the next few days in the province. where all the stakeholders who are here, they will be in one roof. So it will also be a great opportunity for all the stakeholders to be part of that indaba, because you will be able to be afforded opportunity to advertise your business. One most last thing is that NYDA, we've been knocking in your doors, but you are failing decimally to help community media. I hope as the new chair of the NYDA, you will greatly consider the existence of community media in the Free State province. As a rural province, we are suffering, but we believe that through your help, we'll be able to see the light of the day. Thank you very much.
So thank you. Can I, because I'm program directing, can I just take, there were 3 hands here. Can I just take 1, 2, and this Ubabala hands, just these 3, then I move to the side so that we can just finish. Thank you. So I've come back. I know you are unhappy.
Thank you. My name is Matsidi Somfanta. I consult, and I have a suggestion to make. Minister, we need to take unpopular decisions to really make an impact in the transformation of our socio-economic landscape. The greatest contributor to our economy is consumables. Yet we buy from ShopRite and Pick n Pay in town. There is, in the process of migration, that came together, initially assisted to capitalize each other, and they ended up having a wholesale that they are running. But now they buy from the middlemen for their wholesale. It grieved my spirit to see, I piggyback on the remark of the gentleman from the BMF to say, who are the legislators and who are our policy developers? Because if ShopRite, and remember ShopRite is base of our poorest of the poor, having their containers there, running spazas, that error has to be corrected. And I'm going to propose to the stakeholders to consider actually getting access from the manufacturers. We are in the 4th industrial revolution. There's absolutely no reason why using our ward councillors, the municipal infrastructure, we cannot actually develop an app that different households can actually do their shopping online with the benefiting our spaza shops, and food would be actually a whole lot cheaper if you cut the middleman. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity, protocol observe, and thank everybody. I've got just one suggestion. My name is Nelson Salemani. I've been an entrepreneur for 18 years. In my field, the skill or the product that I'm selling is intellectual property to small businesses. I've come across many businesses from different sectors across the board. What I've noticed in my life of 18 years was our people in South Africa, they've got the skills. They've got the core skill of whatever it is, manufacturing, retail. The only skill they lack, it's a financial management, it's a business management, it's an accounting. You will find that government give more money to small businesses, but our people lack in that, and that causes them to always go and say, please give money. If government can address that, that will help. The other thing, before I come to my suggestion, is our government, I think one of the panel says that there is what we call it, I think everybody knows, red tapes. Government, if can understand that we coming from disadvantage, the red tapes are limiting each and every entrepreneur here who wants to succeed funding. Please, Minister and everybody, try to look into that. I know it has been addressed all along. The other thing, what I've experienced is a turnaround if you apply for funding. That it's killing each and to you. It really kill your business. You end up not having a business at all. You go to the commercial banks and that charge you more interest, or you don't do at all. But the suggestion I want to bring today is to FDC. FDC. My suggestion to you is to say, I know at the end of the day, we need to pay for the rental. But what we do as a tendency, we tend up not paying and taking the money. We can sign the papers, that's not a problem. The problem is acting and completing, fulfilling your obligation. The suggestion I would like to bring on the table to you and everybody, if government can have a relationship with the commercial banks to initiate the debit orders, because remember, I've got my company, but I'm banking with a certain bank. If now I do a job for that, it's not going to come to me to go to the bank. If you start that, then you have a government department. I think you will be able to recover the money from all those who are maybe borrowed the money, like also the CFAs and others. That's the suggestion I'm bringing. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll come to you. Can we move the way? I thought you were my eyes. You were seeing the hands. Now I can see you asking me who.
Thank you very much, CEO of CEDA, and all protocol observed to the Minister of Small Business Development. My name is Michael Mnguni. I'm a young person from Ward 23 in Mangaung. Colleagues and also stakeholders, I would like to address few issues. Firstly, particularly to operate and run our small businesses. As colleagues who are aware that we have, Mangaung Small Hub there by downtown. My plea is that can we get a commitment, particularly for the ministry since they are present here, because I know that they are coming back in 6 months. As we said, MMC, that we are having challenges in Mangaung, and I think it's going to be key that we get a commitment to get those containers, because it's hard for us as young people to operate in our own homes. We do not have spaces where we can operate our businesses. Secondly, I would like to plead with the elected leadership, Ms. Asanda Luata, the NYDA Executive Chairperson, that on our side, I think we need more training as young people to learn how to run and operate our businesses, because it's not a lie that government does fund us, Minister Stella Ndabeni, but the issue is sustainability. How do we then sustain our businesses for the long term? Therefore, I think it's critical that NYDA plays a role in ensuring that young people are able to run their businesses, so that by 2030, and that is we are able to create those 9 million jobs. Because if you get funding but you do not sustain those businesses, then you are clearly playing with government money. Last but not least, we appreciate the efforts that are made by the CEO of Proudly SA Leadership Work. Really, very grateful. And I think it's critical that Proudly SA advertises more, so that we as young people can put in our businesses in your platform, so that we're able to advertise and also run our businesses. To the leadership in between Asanda and the CEO of Proudly SA, I don't know whether it's the leadership of NASDAQ or something. I'm with the SRC of Universities of the Free State, and I think that it's going to be critical that we are able to launch those student chapters in institutions of Ireland, so that people are able to run their businesses. And I think we're going to pledge as UFS, as a former chairperson of association, that we're going to be likely and grateful to launch a student chapter under your leadership. Thank you very much. Nyabong.
The country is in good hands, I can tell. Can you go to the lady that side? I can tell you that much. You know, when young people speak with confidence, then you know the country is in good hands. Was no pressure at all? No pressure. You can start.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Oleboheng Tlhong, 21-year-old final year law student from the University of the Free State. And I am an owner of an events company, clothing and cosmetics company. So my question is directed to the gentleman from Proudly SA. I just want to inquire about the tender system that you spoke about. And you mentioned something about bids and just being able to track tenders on your system. So I want to find out, does it completely substitute the process of the CSD, or do you still go through that entire procedure of applying on the central supplier database, or does it just completely go away and you go through the Proudly SA system? Thank you.
Thank you. Is that all? Was there another? I think there were 5 hands this side, so I've taken 2. Are you guys fine? Okay. Oh, yeah, that's it.
Thank you. I'm not fighting, sir. Okay, thank you. The first question, but let me say this one is just a comment. The CEDA is failing our people. They say they're going to help people with business plans, quality management systems, but a mere application forms for COVID-19 funds and that are missing in their offices. I don't know, but let me leave that one. Mangaung Metro is in big trouble, we know. However, Mentabise, I will be knocking at your office tomorrow morning. Please don't run away, I'm coming. The reason why I'm coming is because the stalls that you say you are proud as a municipality, you have built them. They are not there. Now, I want to come and help you to see how can we finish that project, because the money has been eaten for 3 years now. And also, I will be coming to your office because the foreign illegal immigrants have taken over our complex in Buthabe. There's containers there. Our people are renting from people from Nigeria. That is not good. I'm coming to your office so that you can also take law enforcement office. We go there and take out those foreigners from our people's places. And lastly, I heard that the municipal, there's a mayor somewhere here from Mohokari. She said she's gonna allocate land. Now, I'm asking you, in the very same CBD, because our people at the complex, they don't have places to operate their businesses. And here in Bloemfontein, we've got a container hub. Can we have that in Botshabelo? Can you allocate space there? And then I will also go to this tier by tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning. I will ask them to help us with those containers. Can you allocate land for that? Lastly, Comrade Tsepo Masaba, we've been in this struggle for a very long time. In shutdowns and all that together. So tomorrow I want you to come with me so that you become a witness. If they fail us, you will be there. And also you said you're giving support to our small businesses. So I want a support for small businesses. So I want to go with you. I'm saying all this before the leadership here so that none of you will run away. And also my last suggestion, program director, I'm not fighting, sir. Sorry, this is the last one. The mentorship, I didn't hear any of the panels speaking of mentorship programs. I think that part is key for the sustainability of the businesses, because really they are dying. Some I know they chow their money, but some are trying. So, thank you.
Thank you, Program Director. Program Director, my name is Mohau Nhlapo. I'm the Provincial Secretary of African Disability Business Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And by so saying, Chair of the session, let me greet my counterparts, which is NAFCOC and Youth Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Chairperson, I want to address these two municipalities that are on the podium. One, Mangaung, I don't want to get angry when I have to talk about you, but I'll try. Deputy Minister and the Minister has never ever offered anything to business owned or business owned by persons with disability. I stand here as the CM, trying to have a program into ensuring that the municipality itself should have a data of businesses that are run by persons with disability. But they will never open their doors because of why? They don't know what to do, or they don't want to get an assistance from those who know. I'm saying this, I'm the part of the stakeholders of Mangaung. The last time, or the new council when was inaugurated, they called the stakeholders. We were never invited. But they are saying their businesses and know our challenges in business. And I'm trying to take this to Mangaung, but not only Mangaung, even Machabeng. I know they don't even have database of business owned by persons with disability across their regions. Deputy Minister and Minister, it's true that what I'm standing here, I don't know, disappointed or what, but angry. Because of in the Free State, as two chambers, we never got support from any department in government. All of them, they committed themselves, but when times have to kick out, they never give us anything, whether it's a financial support or non-financial support. I'm asking myself that how government should want to work with the other stakeholders, but not bringing us together when they are doing plannings and everything. We cannot have institutions that need to be, to be pampered to do their work. I'm saying this because of the National Executive Chair of the NYDA. I'm saying this because of you as the NYDA, you have failed youth with disability. For many years, we've been requesting the NYDA to establish the grant through your policy consultatives. You do policy consultatives, you do people, but to massage those who are in parliament. The last one, program director, that I want to say is to the Minister of, I met last time the coordinator, she's from Johannesburg, Mejoy, yes, it's a Mejoy. I asked her, Mejoy, from the national office, do you have program meant to develop business owned by persons with disability? If you don't have, as the African Disability Business Chamber, we have our own database of our own people with our sector. We educate them, we give them those opportunities. Because of what you do, government, like what Katla said before is that when you do programs, you tend to think that you cover all sectors of the society, but not consulting, who rely into reading apps. But if you put a picture there, that app cannot read the information that is written there. Our chairperson, the provincial chair, Nospiwe Malaku, she's totally blind. She didn't even be able to reserve for this kind of sitting because of she was unable to access that information, but because of it was on the picture, although we said we sent that picture to her, she can't access that information. I think it's the high time that government should not work in silos, but government bring us as stakeholders closely to them into ensuring that whatever policy or whatever program that we want to plan or do, we are together on it. Because of we are going to continue to reject you as the society as long as you continue to do things alone. I want to challenge you, Minister, that we have what you call the enterprise development. I think it's a high time that we, as persons with disability, we have the disability enterprise development in this country. It was not our mistake that the apartheid regime pushes us away from the society. But it's our responsibility to ensure this democratic state bring us back to our society, make programs that are including us to back to our society. Because of Minister, why I'm saying this is that people with disability tend to be used by companies so that they meet or they met the BEE score. They meet compliance at SARS. So we cannot be the homu, the molo, that will be used and after that be dumped. Lastly, what I want to ask you, Minister, or challenge all stakeholders that are here, particularly the government organizations. We have seen that is say it has funding for persons with disability, which is Amavulandlala Fund. That fund from SIFA, it's a joke. The criteria of it, I want to challenge the business aspect or inspectors here. Go and read that application and tell us it serves the interests of persons with disability now. No. One, you know exactly, persons with disabilities, they can't do themselves alone because of their different disability. They will need assistance. Two, you know exactly that we rely on the disability grant. Where do we get that money that you say it's insurance or assets? You cannot expect me to have 25 million ke phela ka disability grant. Ke kentsele ngolo mo application ya ke phela ka disability grant. Where I'll have that money? I think the government should start in different society. For example, the last one that I want to comment or to say to business people, you cannot say you are running businesses, but your treatment to consumers with disability is not fair. I want to say this. To those who are selling food, you will do your pamphlets, but your pamphlets, they'll be written in a small font. But you take that to Bartamia school. You are saying you are selling food. How do you expect a partially blind person to read your own pamphlets? Two, your business areas of operational buildings are not accessible for wheelchair users, people who are using crutches. Even worse, you are not able to communicate with the deaf society. I'm asking yourself, how do you render business while you cannot talk to one of your own community members? I thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. You see, it's very important to allow such conversations to take place because it's in very few areas where we go and we listen to members like Katleho. I think you said your name is Katleho, ne? And you say because you know, there has been this amongst the agencies, and maybe the CEO of SIFA will make an input at some point. But there has been this conversation that says, but how, where, and how? This is where it talks to how do we work together in the ecosystem, and the points that you are raising that talks to how then is packaged, so that is packaged directly for people with disabilities to be able to read, to be able to interpret, to be able to respond to that becomes a very important conversation that needs to take place. And I would really urge that maybe before you leave the details, Ubonga is here, I don't know where he's sitting, where Ubonga is sitting there, please see him so that then we can just work hard to correct this. And make a new Katleho as well, so that then that can be corrected. It's a very important conversation, and I can tell you, when we sit in meetings, we hit our heads on the wall saying how do we meet these targets? Where do we reach you? How do we find you? And I'm happy today that we're here, and this conversation is very, very important and very fruitful. Ngizobuya kuwe ngendaba yama-business plans. I'll come back to you later. But I think you made very important points as well regarding just the basic things that businesses need, to prosper, and including the issue of mentorship that he touched on as well. So not on our side, but I think the SMMEs have been here. They've been waiting to hear the responses. So we'll respect them and we'll give the answers. Try to be brief, straight to the point, so that then we can allow the minister to come and address us. It's very important. Mike, can we use this one? This one. Yeah. Bab, you can start from Proud SA.
I had a lot of questions for me, so I'll try to be brief. Pio, I think you spoke about put in place as Proudly South African. We have a domestic mandate. Our mandate is to make sure that the 60 million or thereabout people that live within this country help us to start reducing that trade imbalance and that trade deficit that you spoke about. Or maybe let me remove this. There's an import replacement program in the country where the intention is substituting them with locally made products. We think that, and that is a government program, we think that program is going to assist us in a big way. The other thing that is going to happen is we're going to intensify efforts to start broadening markets that South African products have to not just the 60 million people that are in the country, but to look at the region. The sub-Saharan region gives you about 700 million people. So the market is actually bigger if you look at the region. And by just ensuring that those who are within the borders of South Africa and within the region make purchasing decisions in favor of locally made products, you start making a dent on those products that come from outside, because then if there are no consumers that are looking for those products, they will stop coming into the country. There was Dubai 2020 Expo where the intention was to take products to the world. We created an app together with the DTIC. When we took products that were showcased at Dubai 2020 virtually, and linked to that app was capability, a shopping capability where buyers sitting anywhere in the world could go onto the platform, find South African products, place orders, and those products are delivered from wherever the consumer is sitting. There was a question also around, whether we should. In fact, there was another question, there was a suggestion that said we need to look at industries and specialize in those. The master plans are exactly that. There are master plans in the country that have been created, and they're focusing on specific sectors. And the sectoral master plans are aimed at making sure that those industries where the capacity already exists are boosted by ensuring that we increase the uptake. And a quick example is sugar. If the industrial users of sugar, like Coca-Cola and all of these beverage makers, continue to increase their levels of local content, it helps the sugar industry. And that's just one quick example. There's an automotive master plan, there's a master plan looking at furniture, there's a master plan looking at steel, and I think that was the example that he used for China. And there's a master plan that looks at the clothing, textile, footwear, and leather industry. So that plan is already there. The government programs around sectoral master plans is there. Support for disabled programs, I think as Proudly South African, the work that we do, like I explained initially, looks at businesses that comply. We will support you and you will benefit from our access to market programs. Community media, I think it's a good suggestion to utilize community media for our programs. It will help us reach the consumers that we're trying to get to. Suggestion to establish student chapters, we were both nodding with Asanda that maybe that's something that we should look at, because I think that will give us access to purchasing decision makers of the future. People who are going to make decisions in the future. In fact, a lot of households. And lastly, the tender system. It's not meant to replace the CSD. What it does is that it gives you an opportunity to find tenders that you would have missed. What we do is we give you the tender. What you still do is you still have to bid with the procuring entity. All we are doing is we're making it easy for you to find the tenders, especially tenders where if you register with us and you say you're making clothing and textiles, list of companies that are going to bid, they already make the products locally. These are the big.
Asanda.
Thank you very much for the valuable questions, comments, and constructive criticisms. Platforms lightly. I had quite a few questions or comments that I just wanted to respond to. So I will try and be brief. The first one was around the slow turnaround time from the NYDA. And I think just to note that in my other cap or hat, I am a youth activist as well. So when we made a clarion call for Mochapalong or hashtag Umtom Chepalin, it's very refreshing to see that, thank you, Councillor, for that. So your issue on the slow turnaround time is a correct challenge that we've had and we tried to resolve within the NYDA. And part of what we had declared this year, the year 2022, we've declared it the year of service delivery at the NYDA. So issues of slow turnaround time, issues of ensuring that we deliver quality products and services to young people remains a priority, particularly for our youth development practitioners. And I can just attest that one of the areas that we have committed to is to ensure that our turnaround time is reduced to 14 days. So where a young person does not get assistance within the 14 days, then it becomes a problem. And I think they are the relevant channels where young people can process those applications and those queries. Then there was two, I think I'll just club the two, the opportunities for persons living with disabilities. I think for this one, what becomes important is that when we say young people or youth are not a homogeneous group, so failing to understand that, would ultimately be failing to understand the complexities. And the complexity of this particular cohort of youth living with disabilities is an area, is a focus area that we must acknowledge as the NYDA. In terms of our targets, we have not necessarily reached the necessary beneficiaries. But what I want to commit to yourself and the gentleman who's no longer here is that at the back table there, we've got my chief of staff, and I just want to ask Kusenzeni to raise his hand. We want to invite your organizations to just have a chat with us, and we can see how best we can tap into the databases that you have within your organization. Then there was the issue of the red tapes. I think it was a gentleman said, oh yes. The issue of the red tapes insofar as small or businesses are concerned. So the president in his announcement this year in the State of the Nation address made mention of the Business Act that will be under review. And I'm sure the minister will speak more on this, but I also just wanted to encourage yourselves as the practitioners to when that particular process opens up, that make your submissions so that, when that process starts and the amendment of that act ultimately takes place, that your views can get factored and filtered. So I'm sure we understand that participatory process of what happens when a piece of legislation is brought forward and how we encourage public participation. So I want to encourage yourselves to just make those written or oral submissions. And then the issue of, okay, there was quite a few. The business development trainers. So as the NYDA, we've got the grant program that I spoke about earlier on. And within that program, we offer services to young people whose business ideas qualify for this particular grant program, depending on their individual needs. But also, it's important just to mention that part of this grant program, we also as part of the training for the beneficiaries, is that they undergo certain services, which includes, your mentorship programs, business consultancy services, market linkages, business management training, and so on. So those services are available at the NYDA. And then lastly, also the issue of the mentorships. We also do have a volunteer enterprise mentorship program, which is a program within the NYDA that provides mentorship support to youth businesses. So what happens is that we match mentors and mentees that are within the similar or same sector. So those services we also have available within the NYDA. I think that was the last question or comment on my side. Thanks, Chair.
Let me deal with the simple ones and be very brief. If I were to, and I think I need the minister and deputy ministers to hear this. I've actually asked a couple of leaders in the Free State why they've been going to China repeatedly. And at grassroots level, it's hard to see the translation of the visits from China into what we are doing. Now, there's one very beautiful thing that East Asia did in dealing with the red tape, and I think this is what I would advise the president to do. And I've got to be careful to say this within the proper context because my executive authority is a law person. And I still don't understand why an IDP, for instance, so are applications. I do think that if government can review that thinking, Minister, put you on the spot so that we are going tomorrow, there are statistics of the number of businesses that have been supported. If we could have the breakdown of that in terms of demographics and perhaps have it published through local media so that people can start to hold us accountable. I, for one, want to know who has been helped. And of course, if by coincidence we came through the lens of young people, they may want to know what is happening in that space. So it will be important that we account. The third point I want to raise, which I actually think we are likely to get into controversial spaces as the new leadership of FDC, is exactly what the point made by one of the colleagues there. I think we have got the duty as a province to understand the structure of our economy, understand the drivers of the economy, and begin to sequence what is more important, what can we do, how do we build a value chain. I used to participate in BMF when I was in Velcom. I used to see how money was circulating between white companies. They come together every month, they deliberately discuss and they share what they do and how money circulates. I am not sure if we have that capability as black businesses to deliberately come together to say, you are doing this. How do we ensure that we support you? And there's that intentionality to support and grow each other. I do think if we could arrive at that level, we could get somewhere. And last week when we met, at least we made that acknowledgement together with Distia, that part of what we'll have to do moving forward in the province is to see if there's no conflict in roles between what Distia is doing, what FDC is doing, and what all other people are doing. I, for instance, asked, we have got LDA there, for instance, sitting in Velcom. If FDC is positioned by the provincial government to be the catalyst of economic growth and development, what sort of relationship must exist between FDC and all other agencies? I do think that as the province, we need to have that conversation. And this will be part of the few things that, as part of rebuilding the reputation of the FDC, is the conversations that we're going to have. And indeed, we are looking forward to having the conversation with everybody. But in closing, Chair, South Africans, we're very good at talking. If we could get to
Thank you, Dr. Mohale. Does COVID still is there? I thought Russia dealt with it. invaded Ukraine. Now, thank you, colleagues. I've been fortunate in my career that I've spent time in government, I've spent time in academia, I've spent time in large business. And he speaks the truth. There are things we learned when we were in BMF because we were fortunate to sit close to power, the real economy of this country. I will raise something that will shock everyone. We know that property, which is always asked as collateral by banks and everything, no one knew that it was registered still today under the 1937 Act, which says His Majesty. I don't remember us having a King Majesty. It's there. Now, we have not discussed how black people are excluded in this economy. I am listening to us speaking small things, 100,000, 500,000 here, funding here, for businesses that will not really grow much more than that. Our problems in this country are structural. Our erstwhile colonizer legislated us out of the economy. Without beginning to deal with the legislation that legislated us out, all we are doing is that we are in office, Minister, not in power. Now, where do we start with this thing? Mayor, I'm happy to say you want to give land. We've been doing that since 96. We gave people land without title deeds, and banks want title deeds. So something is an anomaly here. If we agree to work within the system that is there, and fact that our numbers as 80% of the population of this country over time will transform into majority ownership, you cannot get that unless you put your best people forward. There are gains we've made as black people today, but those gains cannot be undermined by us circumventing the processes, Minister. We all bear responsibility. David mentioned something, that it is the responsibility of myself and him, those that have been fortunate to get a certain level of knowledge about this economy, to benefit those that are not yet fortunate. And to tell the truth to our people that sometimes is to say, you are not going to be successful in business without skills in South Africa. You can bring Johan Rupert, you can bring Michael Leroux, check one thing in common about them. They still went to university and learned. So that's the first thing we need to be able to tell our people. Our parents were not fortunate to get skills around land and conveyancing and all those things because they were excluded. We have that. And equally, our parents at Esdumo must give us the space to change this thing. To assist in effecting these things. We had worked a lot in renewable energy when we did the first IPEP of 2011 to make sure that there's black ownership in that. Our own senior leaders undermined that process. There are renewable plants that are there in Kharib. And if we mess up in those things, the only thing we will have is the RDP that you share with 8 of your siblings. Why? Because we never dealt with apartheid spatial planning. Every single black person in December goes to Cape Town. You know why? Because since 94, Cape Town has given more land through title deeds to more people that have money, including black people that made money in small towns. Why? Because we have not looked at why our municipalities, and specifically ANC municipalities, are failing. You are dependent on a revenue stream from the former white suburbs. All government professionals hire local SMMEs that are contractors by just submitting a building plan that an MMC must not take more than 10 days to get approved. It shouldn't take 6 months. What kind of people did you hire there at the municipality? Colleagues, and I think this is an opportune time because the problems of the young people in this room sit with leadership. People that call themselves managers are the problem. And let me be honest, our problems in South Africa, Babu Stumo, is not
political leadership, no. It's everyone from HOD, chief director, director, deputy director, assistant director. Those are the people that are making sure the ANC is out of government. When I was in government, we were told one thing: do your job and tell us if there's a political problem. The only political problem is when we are taken to court, and we know exactly who will take us to court. So we need to have this discussion. Minister, you've hired people. If the people that are in government are still in government today, when there's opportunities for black business, for them to move out, having known, it means they are the problem. You spend 10 years in government, you are part of the problem. When we need black people that understand the government, who must be in business. Our young people today, I look at most of them, and I say it's unfortunate. I was able to join government when I was 20 years, being done with university. I see young people today, where will you get the first experience? You can't start opening a business without working, without knowing basic conditions of employment. So let's fix that anomaly. Babus Dumo, we've not discussed a compulsory youth service within the country, where young people at a certain age, like all competing countries do, Japan, China, America are doing that. Let's worry about the trade unions. Everything we wanted in this country that we fought for, is there under Basic Conditions of Employment Act? Is there under the Labor Relations Act? Why are we not allowing this mass of young people to quickly go through government? Whether they are earning 4,000 or 5,000 doesn't matter. They will get the necessary experience to say, now I've got a couple of networks for me to go and do business. We need to allow them to do that. Minister of Labor, if we're not doing that, it is only a matter of time before you see a revolt. It's only a matter of time. There's Section 42 of the Immigration Act of 2002, which somehow everyone at the Department of Labor forget that it exists. To say, except for humanitarian reasons, no one must be able to assist and abet illegal foreign nationals. Did we forget that? Now let's discuss what's the problem. Because it's an act under Home Affairs, the only people that can do that inspection are Home Affairs Customs, but they're only at the border. The biggest part to help all these young people, and I know we say they must go into business, they have never worked a single day. Let's be honest, we're just setting them up for failure. South African laws, there's about 3,300 legislations that are there. If you are in business, you must halfway find a law firm that assists you to navigate them. So if you have not been able to get an education, it will become even more difficult. You'll make a little bit of money, SARS will call you and say, you did not pay this type of tax. You did not pay that type of tax. You must get a person who's a qualified professional. You would have to go. We find a relaxation on saying, these provisions of the law don't apply when you are between 0 to 10 million. Then it's fine. But you must be a formal company, you must be able to pay turnover tax. We need to find a way of simplifying it. I liked what my brother mentioned here. Silicon Valley, Shenzhen, they work through universities. We are the only country that's trying to grow entrepreneurship away from universities. I don't know how we're going to manage that, and equally how we are going to be competitive. We need to say, you are CEDA, and maybe let me finish here.
I'm saying there's the minister still has to speak.
Yes, I will do that.
She needs to speak.
Yes.
And it's late.
A minute, I'll finish. Now let me put the last thing, because it seems time is not there. And for me, this is a burning issue. That's why some of us went to BMF to say, let's discuss the truth. We need to say, CEDA, CIFA, you want to fund people that will run sustainable businesses to pay you back. What is an instrument to know that this person is effective? If you're not running it through a center at the university, are we waiting for Stellenbosch to succeed with what they are doing there? For us to realize that the Afrikaners understand the model. Let's set it up with the universities. Let's see that says the skills you must get here at the university. CIFA will fund you once we are told you are in the right path. Then we can get IDC. Then we can get NEF there. then we'll begin to move and create the right level of entrepreneurship. They don't need to go and study law. They can come and do business, but learn all these critical things, and then we move forward. Thank you.
All right. I understand that we have a lot to say, but also we must note that we still have a program. After this, there will still be the minister coming to address us. So I would just allow, can I just give you 1 minute each to come through?
Thank you. 1 minute. Rona as municipality, the metro, we welcome the criticisms. Renali, batho ba sebetsang ba disability mo di office of the mayor, Ostandi, o teng, o sebetsa mo mo di telephone, ba teng switchboard operators, ba teng ba sebetsa. And we've got the data, banalidi organizations tsengata ka hare ho Mangaung tsa disability, because we resebetsa le tsona kaofela. And I think tse ding ke tsa the land for operation, office ya economic development e butswe ntate Potso le ntate Mutoko. I think re na le yona that space for business people. The hawker stalls, re na le phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 2 phase 3, but is on pipeline. The container park, ke buile hore nyaneng re ntse design Tabanchu, Sotbani, and the former Naledi. Re tlo di implement, they are on the pipeline. I think the minister had, after 6 months, some of the things re tla be re di fixise as Mangaung.
Thanks very much for all the inputs. Of course, and sharp and constructive criticism that was leveled against the municipality, particularly by the months in office. We were preparing to have an economic summit in Machabeng. So we will extend an invitation to all sectors that are here, particularly the disability sector. Because for us to be able to progress, we must first accept an objective assessment of our reality in Machabe that we cannot quantify to date the amount of progress that have been done on the disability sector. So we admit that we'll have to organize that summit, include the disability, improve our bylaws, ensure that we integrate that sector and move forward. So it has been a very progressive session. We have been sharpened as the municipality, because we must not be defensive. Our municipalities were highly politicized. That is why as Machabeng, we have committed ourselves to attempt to depoliticize the municipality, but to professionalize it, because that is an element that is lacking in the municipality. Everything that has collapsed, it's as a result of politics. I was wondering, why is it so cold in this venue? I then learned that we are on top of the hill. But I became worried when discussions became hot. Hence the lashes by the disability organization. It transcends to Machabeng, even though we are here in Mangaung. so I could not escape. But in essence, what is the lessons that we are taking? The Deputy Minister and the collective, Minister Ndabeni Abrams, because you were ahead of your time in heeding the call by the President to ensure that we harness and coordinate all stakeholders, municipalities and SMMEs. But one leader once cautioned us that we can't use a lowest common denominator to resolve our problems or to measure ourselves. For as long as the only thing that we use as a tool to measure ourselves, it's everything that has happened in the past, we will not move forward. We must begin to change our thinking and instill a new national culture, particularly in business. We must move with the pace that the global community is moving with, particularly developing nations. There's no need for anyone to look for a place well-run, is professional. People will flock into that business. Hence, we have Vilakazi Street today as one of the most influential spheres in the business sector. So you just have to do it professionally, wherever you are, be it in your township or in your corner. Just be professional. Our people are not having that culture. You want to measure yourselves with tenderpreneurs who are just parasites, who are depending on the next tender. Where will the next tender be coming from? Who are living a luxurious life. Business comes with sacrifices. At least if we were to compare ourselves, we must compare ourselves with the legend like Ntate Maponya. We have never seen him bragging around with resources. Mr. Petrus, Dr. Motsepe, and many others. So that culture must be instilled. Policies are there. There's nothing to amend in our policies there. What we must instill is a culture of sacrifice, of discipline. Because go to the Second Avenue here and see, you'll then realize that we are just a society that is consuming without producing anything. So until we instill the culture, we can never change anything. And that's what Frantz Fanon was referring to. That post-colonialism, the mistake that is committed by the intelligentsia and the business sector is that we want to emulate everything that our colonizers was doing. You want to isolate yourself, go and stay in town. Why can't you stay next to your business like the Chinese are doing in the township there? We need to accept that we must balance lifestyle with business, not vice versa. So until
I'll be quick. I'll be very, very quick. Relwan, I think is enough now. We have resolved that our approach this year around is going to be bringing solutions. So, and we are going to partner with Mangaung and make sure it prospers at the end of the day. From the disability, Hakim Moni, Ndate Mohau should have explained to you, in 2020, we had a program that dealt with people with disabilities in business, and we had an event in Harip where we sponsored and we gave, together with Distea and the Treasury, we assisted 10 cooperatives and small business which are run by people with disabilities to the tune of 500,000 rands. 500,000 rand in total. So we have played a role. The last issue that I wanted to touch on, Honorable Minister, the issue of renewables. We are not in that space. And I am aware that there is this fund that IDC is funding in partnership with some investors from outside across the country in different renewable projects, where IDC is funding black people 51%. And that thing it's not known to us. And as a result, it passes us by. We are not participating in that space. If maybe you can assist us, let it be an open process. Let it not be done by certain privileged few. In closing, I think I'm done.
I expected you to be longer than that. Thank you very much for respecting the time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of my part of the program. And I want to thank my panelists for coming up and braving, sometimes they say the cold, but I think today, begushush, it was hot. I know next time when I come to Mangaung that we must start at 3 so that we are able to finish on time, because there's a lot of burning issues, but I love the passion. I saw some nice things coming from the youth. Whenever young people come up and talk and they are solid, then you know that we're going somewhere as a country. All they need is our support, in all spheres to make sure that they are solid business people. So that for me was very encouraging. So thank you very much to you as well for listening on this part of the session and being with me. And my panelists, you can sit down. Please give them a round of applause. I like the analogy that was talking about how cold here and at the same time how hot it was. Now, no, I'll never say it's cold or it's too cold or too hot. I'll say it's Mangaung. Then I'll know that those who are here will know what I'm talking about. Program Director, over to you. My time is up. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Ntatembata, Acting CEO from the Small Enterprise Development Agency. This was a very tough session. Me having had an opportunity to be the program director earlier and getting the same opportunity tonight, I must say, a round of applause for this session. Our night is almost coming to an end. We only have 2 speakers left in our program. And the next speaker, before we announce or welcome to the podium, I'm not sure if it will be appropriate just to revive some little bit of spirit of tiredness from everybody in the room. If our music engineers, you have something that you can give us just for 2 minutes so that the ladies and gentlemen in this house can be revived a little bit. Do you have anything that you can give us, music engineer? Thank you, DJ. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the next item on our program, I would sum it up to say I think it will cover mostly of the issues that were raised during the panel discussion that we just had. So I would like us to please try to concentrate just one more time. Like I said, the night is almost over. Before I call on our next speaker to the podium, I've just been informed that we have in our presence, I think it's the chairperson or the owner of Mataitai FC. It's a Bloemfontein-based team. Before you clap hands, it's a Bloemfontein-based team that is currently participating in the Nedbank Cup, and it's the only team that has managed to reach this stage after we lost one of our most influential teams. So next week it will be playing with Mamelodi Sundowns. So Bloemfontein people, let us support our team, and yeah. Okay, our next speaker is the one and only, the Honorable Minister of Small Business Development, Ms. Stella Thembisandabini Abrams.
Thank you so much, Program Director. The only part that you forgot is to say people remain seated. This is one of the protocols I really do not enjoy, of people standing up, because now you're going to make me fall. Because I'm nervous when you're standing up that I must reach the mic, and I don't like that. Good evening to you all, the Deputy Ministers from our department, and the birthday boy, and of course our Spingy. Good evening to all the councillors that are here from all the municipalities of the 2 regions or 2 districts. Good evening to our officials under the portfolio and those that, from other respective departments. But most importantly, good evening to you real economic freedom fighters. I said real, don't get excited. It has been a long night. We shouldn't be talking like this, man, in a gala dinner. But trust me, as much as I say that, I'm appreciative of the work that has been done. Earlier, those that joined us during the day, we were emphasizing the need for partnerships. We spoke of the need to get coordinated and work towards integration of the support that we provide. And this that you saw here really gives expression to that. The different stakeholders, our beautiful panelists, that clearly articulated the positions from where they stand. But what I liked more is when most of you offered solutions and proposals to government. It wasn't a complaining session. Okay, others know how I feel about those sessions, as much as I do understand that at times people must express themselves. But in the world of hustlers, there's no time to complain. I always say a problem presents an opportunity to entrepreneurs. I listened to both the secretary and Mohau when they were saying, you are not involving disabled, you are doing this and that. I'm like, come on, brother, that's your opportunity. Why don't you come with a solution and make a proposal to this government and the other stakeholders that are talking here to say, we have seen that you're not entirely driving the inclusive economic growth because you have excluded a particular sector of the community, and therefore this is the solution that we're helping you with. And you're identifying a niche market for yourself instead of getting them to go and get other people to do it for you. I come from another NGO. That NGO tells us that you may think we're fighting when we engage if you don't understand our game. But it is true that radical engagement, that we're able to come up with policies that benefit many people, including those that spend their days in taverns. I agree there are those that spend much time trying to build a country, trying to do this and that, then they all rubbish. And there are those ones that are relaxed. He takes you to, and then they go into whatever. But this is the responsibility of those that have accepted the call to provide leadership. But unfortunately, most of us tend to believe that for us to provide leadership, we should be elected. And today has proven that how wrong that thinking is, because the solutions that you proposed here, whilst you're not elected, are solutions that are addressing the challenges that you are faced with. Which is why that NGO that I come from emphasizes the need for us to work together. All the time, together we can do more, moving South Africa forward, building this in unity and diversity, and all the sloganeering that we don't pay attention to when we do our day-to-day work. And as I said, the ones that were seated here are beneficiaries of these policies, with all the mistakes that we have as the state. But we're also proud to say there are some achievements which we need to build on. We are happy also, and Navcock, that you created jobs for us through the establishment of the Small Business Development Department. Hey, this gentleman wouldn't be sitting here. But what value does that add? How do you continue to monitor that those objectives that you had when you called for the establishment of the department are realized without you taking over, but making sure that everybody in the ecosystem understands the vision? Because another crisis that we get to be faced with is when a vision is understood by few, whilst expected to be implemented or realized by all. I always say, David, when I engage with officials, I like a situation wherein a cleaner is able to identify his or her role. What is my role in realizing that vision? When I was an ordinary parliamentarian, when we did oversight, I would come and ask, okay, what position do you hold? What do you do? And one would explain whatever that she does, and I'm like, what's the vision and the mission of this organization? And they'll be stuck. To an extent that I became unpopular to CEOs. And I was trying to say, it can be correct that a vision is understood only by CEOs or senior management. The organization belongs to all. It cuts across those that are poor, those that are rich, those that are learned, the illiterates, including those that are very intelligent and dumb. All of those are critical stakeholders, which means when you develop your product, it should be a product that is able to find expression, that we make sure that our products do not only become relevant to the market, but they become relevant here at home with the challenges that we face. And that can be realized when we all understand what needs to be done. Therefore, the engagements that were presented here give me hope to say, if we stay together, if we continue to communicate, if we continue to communicate in a language that we all understand, we're bound to do that we ought to do, creating jobs for South Africans and helping the country grow its economy. At the center of it is the transformation of the economy that we have. It is true, I think that was BMF, that raised the issue of having to look at the legacy legislations. You are correct, you are in office. We are administering those acts. I'm sure you saw when we were talking about, what was it the land issue? Wherein we were using some old legislation, just like if you read the one that we have, the Principal Act, or the Small Business Act. And these are the things that we're saying, because when we came into governance and being able to reach out and learn from others, that does not mean we're dumb. We're not dumb. That's why we call for everyone to learn, relearn, and unlearn certain things if we are to be productive, It can't be, I have 20 years of experience. Of what? What impact have you made when you brag about 20 years of experience? You mean that's of the analog space? Whilst we're in the digital era, what value does it add? As we sit here and talk about the challenges and the opportunities, and talk about the work that we're doing, if we were to stay under level 5 lockdown of COVID, would we have these businesses? Are we preparing our mindset for that eventuality? Because all the plans that we have made prior, including the manifestos that we committed to the electorate, we never foresaw what COVID will do to our economy and to our people. But now that God has exposed us to that reality, to say there's a need to change how we do things, are we gearing towards that change? Lockdown. How are we consumers? Just like they used to have mines, and I was asking, how many of you had access to the mining rights? Or the game? That's what they did. So now, if you're closing them out, therefore they're going to do what they know. Being appreciative of the legacy that has been built by those that came before us. Use tactics that were relevant then. That's why you see malls closing today. Because those strategies, in ensuring that from the planning and economic development side, you make sure that if we're going to have a mall in a particular area, to supply ShopRite, Spar, and Mangmang. Without you fighting with established businesses, because again, we're not going to win that. 70% of the economy resides in the hands of the private sector. Only 30% that government is in control of. Therefore, we have to be smart here. Being smart means that we don't have to say everything publicly. Being smart means we've got to plan accordingly. Plan accordingly, bit by bit. You have tertiary institutions that are surrounding yourselves, both, if I'm talking about this area, Mangaung, whether you're talking about, usually Budza, there's a technical college, there's no university. But again, how do we focus on building skills that must help grow the economy, starting with the bursaries that you offer? Be it at a local municipality level or at a provincial level. How are they aligned to your LED strategy? Because there's a tendency of just providing bursary even for your employees without looking at the skills gap that we have and looking at what we want to achieve as the province, and therefore say, because we want to make sure that we can run efficient institutions, that meritocracy that we're talking about. Hey, exile. Now we come from exile. Doesn't work anymore. Just like it doesn't work to just be chanting slogans and rhetoric when people are hungry. Doesn't work. It therefore requires administrators that have a balanced understanding of the ideology, not only of the governing party, but that unites the people. And in this context right now, everybody agrees that jobs have to be created. Everybody agrees that small businesses have to be supported. Why don't we ride the wave and therefore call upon all those that can come and help us? And engagements like this partnership dialogue that we had today, present us with that opportunity. Today, we didn't have the banking sector as we talk of the services that they are offering, because it's important that the banking sector, actually the entire finance sector, has to understand why it's important for them to be involved in initiatives like this. Why it's important for them to understand the realities that South Africans are faced with. We don't want a repeat of the July 16, right? You didn't see it in Free State. We saw it in KZN. Will do, because it really destroyed the economy. Unfortunately, our economy is concentrated on those two provinces, KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. Whether you talk about the support that we provide in terms of the small businesses, 52% is from Gauteng alone. The rest of the country gets to share 48%. This explains why, especially rural provinces, remain poor like this, because there isn't a deliberate effort to build capabilities of the SMMEs in our areas. We're happy to say we want a grade 7 company, those IDB English of yours. We want a grade 7. That time, your SMMEs, you're giving them grade 1 level jobs. How are they gonna jump to grade 7? You keep on giving work to Gauteng and other people, and you think things are gonna change. Who's gonna wake up and change those things? How is it gonna work? Whilst we understand that we may not have all the capabilities currently, but how are we building that capability? Because it is your responsibility to empower people in your area. Or you think kuzoba nemana and some savior and help you, and they must go and vote for you willingly. They must go and pay you rates with what? If you don't think they deserve to get what you have as the budget in this metro. If you think the electorate of this area has voted you into power to squabble, when do you think you're going to take development to these people? How do you plan to secure your position if you're busy squabbling? Because you're going to lose it all. The past elections were a wake-up call, not only to the governing party, unfortunately. They were a wake-up call to all political parties, all. Because even those that have not surpassed the governing party in terms of numbers, others have not dropped, yes, but they're still keeping there, they're not growing. Whilst people are angry at the governing party, but we don't see much growth in others too. That tells you that people are tired of stories. People are tired of rhetoric. And these SMMEs must help buy t-shirts for us when we campaign, and they must fund the volunteers. And we're giving them 30%. Whilst the policy says 30%, but there's nothing stopping a municipality to give 70% of the budget to locals. It's to say at least 30% should be made. That applies mainly on big businesses internationally, to say you can't come all the way from wherever you come from and therefore utilize everything in the value chain without investing in the local. So when we say 30% local procurement, it doesn't mean you must stop there. You can't stop there. You really cannot afford to if you know what you're doing. So we've got to be deliberate on those joint ventures to say we're going to give you this business because right now we have failed to build capability of our own SMMEs, and we recognize that therefore these are the conditions. And on your subcontracting of these SMMEs, these are the components that we want to subcontract on, knowing that you have invested in skills development of those areas to your SMMEs. And of course, you then come to us, Abo FDC, Abo SIFA, Labo SIDA. They must stop telling stories. We want impact now, all right? We're tired of, hey, the DGA, and we're going to deal with red tape reduction, here amending this policy. We want the socio-economic impact of a policy. We can't be saying we've met targets because we presented papers to cabinet and parliament, DM, right? What change have those brought? That's what's important. What change has the policy or the legislation brought into the livelihoods of the small businesses that must translate to the transformation and the growth of the economy whilst addressing unemployment? If we are sitting where we are at, it tells you that we're not doing well. which is why we need others to join hands. As I said, that's a country commitment. That's not the responsibility solely of the Department of Small Business Development. Earlier on, I made reference to what the president announced, and it got people, you know, this man does not want to take decisions. He's so scared of his ministers. Why doesn't he release them? Because he doesn't have confidence in them. What? Learned people are saying those things. He has appointed the Rejepsa, he doesn't have confidence. Did you really think we're going to go and deal with water rights issues? With electricity issues? With the bylaws issues that are raised here? And all the other red tape measures that are frustrating both small and big businesses, that you think now President does not have confidence when he says we are elevating this matter because it requires the attention of the highest office in the land. And you think that is being wrong? It's him passing a motion of no confidence. Whilst he can wake up and reshuffle, nobody's going to ask him. I can reserve at his pleasure. Now you think he's going to be scared to say, I'm displeased with you, go home. It talks to the understanding or lack of that we have. And I always say, it is good that we get to communicate. But at all times, there are critical things in communication that you ought to strive for when you're communicating. Getting the message right, inspiring, and building confidence. Educate, entertain, and that's very important, and inform. That's what communication is about. And for us as the department that's responsible for the coordination of this work, if we are missing any of those components, we are going to fail. That's why we are saying we are opening up space. You know, when the Chinese said, we're opening up markets now, and they went and stole everybody's idea. Because you need to understand the system for you to bear it. But now we don't want to steal. We want to leverage on the expertise that our partners have so that we can be able to deliver on the people's expectations and therefore grow the economy. We are looking forward to working with yourselves as our partners. Mkhulu Muslim Sebenza, I did say, we ought to make sure that, as others are saying, I heard a young person, the minister must commit. Minister, you must commit here that you're going to give us containers when you come back in 6 months. I was like, yeah. We're talking governance and compliance, and you think you come with that, yeah. But of course, when you're young, those things happen, but you learn with time. And these are the things that have put people, not on the Zondo Commission, but in some places that we don't want to go to. That's why we're cautious. But it becomes our responsibility to educate people of the processes that ought to be followed for certain things to be achieved. Earlier on, we had engagements with the DM of Employment and Labor, and we were talking about the same thing when we're saying we are considering providing infrastructure support to small businesses, and the issue of containers arose. And we are saying between ourselves, them as DELL, and Department of Higher Education and Science and Innovation, we can do that at a reasonable cost, because Minister Nzimande has lots of artisans that require experience for them to do whatever and get their certificates. All we can do is to partner with the industries and get somebody to mentor them as they're doing that work. And of course, we have the Department of Employment and Labor that can come on board and provide the stipends. And we come and offer the business development solution and the equipment if they need it through CIFA and other people. When we collaborate, when we are coordinated, we're able to collaborate for effective execution, not just rhetoric. That is why we said there's a need for us to make sure that there's alignment from local to national and to the private sector, so that we get to understand as government what are the investment plans of the investors that have an interest in the province. And therefore, how do we create an enabling environment for them to help us achieve our domestic targets whilst they're making more money, but we must also do and better and get what we ought to get out of those. That does not happen, Golala Uvuk. It happens because of continuous engagement, platforms like the different lobbying that you do running around. We can't even partner and say, certainly we're going to partner with NAFCOC to deliver this. We're going to partner with BMF and do this and that, because you're busy fighting for lobbying positions, the political freedom. All we have to do is to build on that and deliver the economic freedom to our people. And no T-shirt or sloganeering will deliver economic freedom. But the change in mindset and understanding who is the enemy and therefore what strategy and tactics should be applied for us to defeat the enemy. Spaza shops, all the fancy clothing we wear, and all those things that we get in the cars that we drive. We've got to identify our own niche. You know, my heart bleeds every time I look at a Mercedes-Benz C-Class that comes from my home province. And there isn't a single thing Eastern Cape about it. Ngicela ne chair covers, you know, the seats, the covers of the seats. Whilst we eat lots of meat, you know, most people of Eastern Cape eat lots of meat, they have lots of cows. But trust me, their hides are not good enough to supply Mercedes-Benz and Toyota. And this talks to the mentality and the thinking of those that are responsible for the development of the strategies. Whilst we're excited about investment that are coming, but what is it that is in for us? We ought to ask ourselves that question. In my office, they always laugh when I'm invited to go and speak. You know, people like having ministers for their events. Minister, come and address. I'm like, oh, okay, who are they? And I check, what can I get from them? There's nothing for my hand. I get? And then I'm like, oh, okay, I can leverage on their enterprise development program. When I was in communications, everybody knew, if I'm going to come and speak, you're going to commit to connecting schools, provide them with laptop or tablets or whatever. Not coming for Mahal. And you're not going to give my kids laptops, because I have a contract with Vodacom, so I'm going to buy them. But you're going to buy for the communities. And this is what we ought to do, because people are making money, but do we guide their sales eyes? Or we get happy, they buy soccer kits and they leave. Hit and run. Because we don't have clear strategies. It all goes back to the clear strategies. And unfortunately for political parties, that one does not entirely depend on one party. If you go to a council, it's a multi-party council, and all parties are represented in the different committees. Same applies to parliament. And then we go to government, we never ask for your membership card. Which party do you belong to? We just look for, what is it that you look for, DG? Experience in public service, 15 years. Experience in public service. And we're complaining about the public service that has not transformed the economy now. But we still want people with 15 years, right, yeah? We still want people with 20 years experience, 15 years experience in enterprise development. And the economy has not grown. Since then, the interventions that we're making have not been effective. And we think things are going to change. Of course, things can change when we have a human capital that understands that it has to unlearn certain things, be willing to learn new things, upskill ourselves so that we remain relevant. That's why I asked if we were to be locked in level 5, would these businesses, including those ones that are permanently employed, will they survive in the work that they do? Because it's all about understanding where we are and therefore what are the drivers of that particular era. We ought to change how we do things. The working on silence and competition amongst SMMEs is not taking us anywhere. You've got to find ways of collaborating with each other. A municipality will issue so many tenders. I had people, they're busy with tenders here. You try to bring them to say, guys, you know we're a department responsible for economic freedom, entrepreneurship, real wealth. I get it, we give you money to establish your portfolio. But people want the easy way, the tenders. By that time, they build roads, they're not even civil engineers. They don't even know how to count the bill of quantities and all those things. And then they must sign a contract with an LLB person, not a commercial lawyer, because that's what is available. The importance of the skills in the businesses that we are running becomes very critical. Gone are the days where goes women as CFOs by nature. You go home, you see they know how they administer their husbands' money. We've seen homes, shame, not growing also with those women there and children struggling. It's the reality that we face with. So you can't think that you're going to sleep and wake up with capacity just like men think they have. It is something that has to not only be acquired, but that you get to learn, which is why we should be agile enough to be appreciative of new innovations. Whilst we build from the past what has been there in order to build the future, but we shouldn't think that the solutions of the 19th century will be relevant in the 21st century. That's why I don't get threatened by people who did things 20 years back, and I'm like, that's why you're still here. You are the problem because you know it all, and there's no space for growth. Whilst we're saying that, people think that when we raise those things, we're referring to old people. Hey, young people don't want to learn themselves. Because they think because they are young, they know it all. Whilst they don't know where we come from and why we had to take certain decisions to be here, and why it's important not to take that route again to build the future that we're talking about. So that generational mix program of the NGO I come from becomes very critical in terms of sharing knowledge, not just bringing age and IDs, because your ID starts with 5, mine starts with 7 or 8. That does not add any value. Doesn't make you a great leader because you are young. It doesn't. But as a young person, you ought to be given an opportunity to make mistakes so that you can improve. It becomes the problem that now you're going to want 20 years experience, and then you don't want to give the young ones an opportunity to make mistakes and show you how it can be done. You know the nice thing about getting people straight from school? Fresh. They don't know the laws. I heard somebody who was saying there's 33, 300 and whatever. You need exactly those ones that must disrupt the status quo. Why do you want them to know all of those stupid things that have not taken us anywhere? You need them to make the mistakes, challenge the status quo if they are to transform the system that we're talking about. And only then people will realize, hey, nangona man, we're uncomfortable, but this thing is working. Only then. That's how developed countries are doing it. That's why they invest more on research and innovation every day. Whilst they're providing this solution, they're working on another one before it takes off. What is possible? But Tina, we have not seen it, therefore it doesn't work. I feel you. If we don't know it, you go to SIFA, you apply for whatever. They're like, we've never heard of this, and then they put your business plan there. They continue their life. I get it, they want the poultry projects. They want the Chisanyang. And those are very important because those are what deal with the poverty that we have. Because we need those survivalist businesses in order to address unemployment and poverty. But hey, we need to grow the economy to deal with the realities that we're faced with. Which is why we shouldn't be scared in providing a separate fund for the renewable energies. Because we can't continue to be consumers. We've got to have that mindset. It's risky DG, no bit. Hey, Minister, hey, these ones are high risk. Therefore, we can't put more money. Hey, bana. You like being comfortable. You want the easy ones, Shisanyama, because you know people are going to buy food and whatever. You've got to invest where it's risky so that you can see your returns, but give yourself enough time to track progress. The digital infrastructure, as I always say, is another opportunity that you as the SMMEs seated here, you should be looking at. You'd be complaining, hey, data, what do you say? That English that you put? Data must fall. I don't know where did you get that thing from also. Because what must fall are the data costs. You're going to say data must fall. How are you going to communicate? But nevertheless, we go with the flow. You don't laugh. There are those ones that each one teach one. So please don't bring that here. So as we say those that are a problem in terms of saying we cannot afford the cost to communicate because it's too expensive, what are you doing to address that? What are you doing to challenge the status quo? This country that has, okay, others have licenses too, so I shouldn't say 2 mobile operators, right? Because themselves, their licensee. But we are seeing the weaknesses. But at the same time, as I said, in the weakness, there's an opportunity. Every child, I'm sure, where you are seated, they're stealing your phone to hotspot because they want access to connectivity. What are we doing as small businesses of Free State that must ensure that every household has access to Wi-Fi? You go to these ones to fund you, that FDC that is doing whatever they, and these ones of ours, of course, to say, here we are. We would like to build this infrastructure because our people do not have access to connectivity. And we do want to provide connectivity at a cheaper rate. And it's doable. That's why in other areas you find young boys in the townships offering all this wireless connectivity at ridiculous cheaper prices. They've identified the niche. That's why I'm saying we need to change the mentality of thinking we can all be entrepreneurs that belong to tenders and the catering, and building RTP houses. There's an economy beyond those. There is an economy. That's why we are saying ours is to help create an enabling environment for you to be able to expand as much as you want to be. And we emphasize that you don't have to be big to be the best. You can be tiny like this. If you look at the companies that are milking it, even during the COVID period, who are they? Do they have offices? Where are their offices? Labo, Google, Labo, Amazon. Where do they stay? They don't pay ridiculous rental prices in offices in your upmarket areas. They reside in your pockets, in your cell phones, and that's where they store information. They just have their engineers working in the tiny laptops, wherever they are at. Whilst you're busy investing in building offices, then COVID is going to come and say, stay at home. Rethinking how we do business in order to make sure that we remain relevant, but most importantly, investing in the new economies, the renewable energy, the digital infrastructure. Those are the critical one, or what you call the green economy. Part of it is that waste management that people are not paying attention to. There's money in that. What are we doing to make sure that, yes, we have this that we've been doing traditionally, but we do realize that there's an opportunity here, and therefore we collaborate and work together to say, how do we make sure that we can do like R&R does? You know, people can hate white monopoly capital, Then you look at their wrist, they're wearing the watches from some people. They sleep in hotels, they eat the food from some people that they say they hate. Because we have not analyzed the environment properly to say, if we are saying you're an enemy, what is it that we need to do to counter? And remember, I said, you cannot afford to have big businesses your enemies. You can't. You're going to destroy the economy of this country. And that we can't afford. We've got to learn to coexist, But in them making big profits, we've got to identify our niche in the value chain. This is why, as the department, we've made a submission to the Department of National Treasury on products that should be procured specifically from SMMEs. Somebody was making example about the Chinese and the steel industry. And this steel is from here. You know, when you look at them fighting the East and the West, everything they're fighting about, it comes from Africa, and we have it here at home. Everybody's talking about how the fourth industrial revolution is going to help grow the economy, but they don't tell you how. They're not looking at the how. They're just looking at research that does not detail, by Accenture and others. But to say we have minerals here in this country, the rare earth deposits, how many are found in the Free State? What are we doing to make sure that we protect that environment, to say, in our own LAD strategy, we recognize that we have these mining rights, therefore we engage, the minerals that we have, we engage the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy to say, in your licensing, make sure 60% or whatever percent is reserved for locals. And then we go and say, Cedar, Mang, and others that are responsible for providing support, they do that, working with tertiary institutions. Don't forget that. That's why I spoke of the importance of the skills. And all those, ladies and gentlemen, are possible when we get out of the comfort zone, when we stop being entitled. You know that entitlement that you're not doing this for us, do this and that. Entrepreneurs don't speak like that. Entrepreneurs present a problem and a solution because they know a problem presents an opportunity for them to say, how do we help you solve your problem? You see, Minister Kimang MEC Education. Date, yes. You know, Date, we've seen that when we were doing the school visits or we're sending our children to school, they spent 2 weeks without school textbooks. And therefore, we've came together as the taxi people around or the people with buggies to say we're going to help you deliver if that's the problem. Just incentivize us. We don't want the ridiculous money that entrepreneurs want. Oh, Nkosiam. They inflate prices like nobody's business. And this is another challenge that we're facing. When people have to procure from small businesses, body layer months, that you want to sell at 30 rands. And you think people are going to continue buying from you because you're milking the state and you're making everyone run away from you. How do we make sure that our pricing is pricing that inspires confidence to say we can procure as many as possible? Because if your prices are ridiculous, it means we can't be able to buy more, just like those schools that you build at 150 million, the next thing, after 3 years, they fall apart. And these are the small businesses that are doing those. That is why we said our focus this term is on ensuring that we provide capability to small businesses whilst we're looking at access to funding. Because it is correct, we can provide funding, but without proper building of capabilities and post-investment support, we'll be wasting money, and unfortunately, we do not have time to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to say thank you all for being here, and we are looking forward to next engagements. And of course, the ANC government loves you so much. Good night.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have reached the 98% of the evening. Just before our last item on the program, I have just 2 quick announcements to make. While the last speaker will be on the podium, our catering team, can you start preparing to dish up? And then as he finishes, when we move to our catering stations, a protocol will be followed whereby we would like to plead with the House to allow, firstly, the government leadership led by our Honorable Minister, Deputy Ministers, the Mayor and the members of the Mayoral Committee to first have access to dinner, late dinner, and then the rest of the House can follow afterwards. I'm not sure about any activities that will be taking place after that, but we will see as the night progresses. Our last item on the agenda is a vote of thanks that will be given by the MMC of Infrastructure in Mangaung Metro Municipality, Councillor Morake. From me, Panitwala, I would like to personally thank the Honorable Minister and the Deputy Minister for the opportunity to facilitate two of the programs that we had today. It was really an honor, and I appreciate it very much. And to the other stakeholders, CEDA, CIFA, NYDA, thank you very much. I personally thank for the opportunity. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and Minister and the Deputy Minister, all the protocol observed. On behalf of the Executive Mayor, Mokolisi Swenzana, who is not here because he has attended the SALGA conference in Cape Town, and the Deputy Mayor, Mapase Gangwani, we would like to thank the ministers for coming and reviving the business after the COVID pandemic. And then we are saying that we have heard a lot of ideas, a lot of advices, and we are saying we are going to carry on to see as Mangaung that all the advices that we have and the ideas, they're implemented. I think through our district model meetings, we are the only metro in the whole country that doesn't have special economic development zone. And we are saying also to the minister, when you come here again, National Treasury must be here. They are managing the biggest procurement in the country, but in the road shows and whatever, it's only departments. But National Treasury always is not coming. But they are the one procuring state clothing, all the state vehicles, and a lot of things are procured in the National Treasury. So now, there is big business opportunity at National Treasury. And I agree with the minister that if we need to share this economy, let's not things be done in Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, and Cape Town alone. Let's other goods of government be manufactured in rural provinces such as Free State, so that we enhance growth. People are stop moving to Gauteng, Cape Town, and Durban for job opportunities. We must create job opportunities at home, so that these mushrooming shacks or land evasion maybe can be avoided if there is job opportunities at home. So those are some of the few things that I would like to mention. Also not forget that as Mangaung are saying, government owe us a lot of money, business owe us a lot of money, FDC owe us a lot of money, Dr. Mohali. So we are saying, we are going to cut services. If you don't pay, we are cutting services. For us to be able to finance our budget so that the unemployment associations, they are able to get the employment. Municipality must have a budget through the means of people paying their services. And we are saying that, please, let everybody pay services, especially government. Especially government. Government must pay services. We are the host province of provincial government. We have no reason that we must be under financial recovery plan. Whilst government owe us billions of rand, including FDC and the Section 21 schools. So now, I think it is important that today, as we conclude our day, to appreciate the development that we have our team here in Botshabelo called Mataitai KFC, Mataitai FC, which are playing very well, and wish them well. We want the Nedbank Cup in Mangaung. I think the mayor, if they can go to a final, the mayor will be there to go there and collect the cup. But I hope and appreciate that all the sectors and stakeholders which are here, our municipal offices are still open for further engagement, lobbying and advocacy networking to enhance economic development in Mangaung. So I think with those few words, I want to thank those who have made inputs, those who are having issues. Our doors are open. We have disability desk as Mangaung. So please make contact with the office so that you'll be assisted with whatever you are proposing. So with those few words, I would like to thank especially the Deputy Minister and the Minister for SMME revival after COVID-19. Thank you.